Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson Media, and this evening, joined with my good friend Miguda. We just want to have a recap of what happened yesterday, and just to sample some of the observations that we made over the impeachment motion for Deputy President. Miguda, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very fine, my
Yes.
brother.
Uh-huh.
I'm
How
fine.
how is your evening?
My evening is good, but the mood on the ground is not good. The mood on the ground in the country.
The mood is not mooding, or the math is not mathing.
The agenda is not agending.
Agenda is not agending.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Jana ilikuwa
Watu walikuwa wanafikiria ni tu mchezo zao za kawaida. Sasa leo watu wamepigwa na butwaa kwa
eh,
soko,
mm,
ukitembea wamama, watu wanafanya kwa mechanic, watu wanasema kumbe ilikuwa tu reality.
yeah, the reality has dawned on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we proceed and give our observation and maybe what to me I saw you might have not seen during the motion and to the impeachment. So we will just give our reaction of what happened. And let me take this opportunity to thank Brenda for joining. Judith, kumbe si huku tuko na hasira. Judy, kwani we ni MP ama hasira imekupanda? Okay, sawa sawa, tutajua. So these are the headlines. I know some of us had an opportunity this morning or today to um, read the dailies. The dailies, each and every daily had their own headlines. Like when you come to People Daily, it says the fall of tribal chief. Alikuwa ni chief wa ukabila. The Star Daily's end of the road. That is for Star Daily. Then Taifa Leo inasema kwamba wabunge wamrarua. The Standard Daily talk about impeached. And we have the Nation Daily that talks about how Gashagwa was cornered. That is what is there in the dailies. And today also, I saw the ODM party had a presser talking about youth and how they want to revamp their party. You know, they had a youth engagement today. That is something that also is there. Another thing also is in process right now. The matter is already in the Senate, and they are in the preparation to start the motion in the coming few days. Then from there, we will see what happens. And also, the senior counsel representing the DP also went to court today. And what were they demanding again, Mr. Meguda?
Senior counsel Paul Mwite,
Yeah.
who is the leading counsel on Gashagwa team,
Mm,
they went to court to seek orders that court could allow the proceedings to
mm,
move to the Chief Justice Martha Koome Supreme Court,
yeah.
not the Senate. So if the court can allow them to have that proceeding at the CJ desk, they do not want to go through the Senate proceeding. They went to seek such orders from the court.
So does the law allows you, because like I know there's a process on how you can go to the Supreme Court. Let's say you start with the High Court. Then if you feel like the judgment that has been given to you is not satisfying you, you have to go to the Court of Appeal. Then from Court of Appeal, you go to the Supreme Court. Is that one possible?
Going to Supreme Court,
Yeah,
you know, in the argument,
yeah,
they based the argument that, the Supreme Court,
yeah.
its primary function is to hear and determine dispute related to the election of presidential election. So they argue that the presidency constitutes of the president and the deputy president. So
Yeah,
in case there is any dispute in that office of the presidency,
yeah.
including the deputy president, they can go to the Supreme Court directly, the way the case of the president is being heard into the Supreme Court. That is their point of argument.
Oh, okay. So, so there. Oh, that's why the. But is can it have like can it hold waters when they argue like that in terms of legal?
It holds water because it's a matter of interpretation. They have given you a simple interpretation that
Mm,
if we have, for instance, there was the 2013, 2017, 2022 presidential election petitions were held at Supreme Court.
yeah.
If the presidential elections are even turned, Supreme Court can upheld or they can quashed away. And you find that the deputy president form part of the president. It is the
Mm,
principal assistant of the president. So in case of any case that is related to the office of the deputy president, they refer it as the case that touch the presidency. So they can seek the redress into the Supreme Court directly.
mm, mm. Okay, that's
So it makes sense.
it will depend, right?
It will depend, but it makes sense.
But like what was the judgment? Have they made a ruling on it?
They haven't made a ruling because if they could have made a ruling, I could have seen it, but I haven't seen any ruling.
Hmm. Okay. So
Maybe I have not seen any ruling so far.
okay, thank you so much. And yesterday we had history in the making. I might say so because this is the first time under the new constitution that we are seeing the president is being impeached by members of parliament, and it will go in the history books of this country, whether the process was flawed or the process was due, but it still has to do with the history. But now we know now, right now, it is in the Senate, and the Senate have started to discuss about it, and we will be waiting for um, the schedule on how they will prosecute the case. But before we go to the Senate, I just want to hear from you from how the case was conducted and even how the deputy president actually yesterday argued his case on the 11 allegation that was put on him.
To answer the question of the due process before I come to this last question,
Mhm.
there is a high court
Yeah.
whereby if the deputy president will be dissatisfied with the Senate ruling, he can proceed to high court. Now, in high court is where we will look at the legality
Mhm.
and irregularities, whereby we will look at the due process of the law or the constitutional rights, and also we look at the irregularities. So it is the high court to determine whether the process was due to the law or the process was there was some illegality or irregularity. So
Mhm.
yesterday's conduct in the National Assembly, I can't say that it was a fair hearing to
Mhm.
some extent because there were some women members of parliament who brought it down. They stooped too low to reduce the case to personal attack. For instance, there were some women who accused Rigathi of calling them quote unquote Malaya. So if it was a matter of defamation, you could have dealt with it in a civil suit whereby you go in a private suit, you sue him under defamation, or
Yeah.
sue him on a private on a civil suit. But now Rigathi was having 11 charges against him. Then they stooped too low, they reduced it to personal attack that you will know us. You are attacking leaders of this country. So
Yeah.
some women MPs stooped too low and they were dishonorable. They could have stick to the rules of the house. They could have stick to the 11 allegations. They could not get out of it. They have reduced it to a personal attack against Rigiji. So those members of parliament were very unfair to Rigiji, the female members of parliament to be particular. And Brother Benson,
Yeah.
there was certain women who rose, who stood up and argued is during the debate, his submission that Jaramogi Odinga and Jomo Kenyatta part ways if they were not able to work together.
Yeah.
He goes further and quote people like Achieng Oneko. But that female member of parliament was forgetting that Jaramogi and Kenyatta part ways on ideologies. There was one who was pro-capitalist and one who was pro-communist. In this
Mm.
case of Rigiji, it was Rigiji has been brought before the National Assembly under 11
We lost
Jomo
you.
Kenyatta, and he go further and say, can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
And he goes further to say that if Jaramogi went, if Achieng Oneko went, why can't you go? Those were not grounds for removing Rigiji. Rigiji was not being removed because they have different in ideologies. Rigiji was being removed because he has been accused of corruption. So those female members of parliament were very unfair to Rigiji. And to make my last submission, remember the story of Jesus and the woman who was caught in the act committing adultery,
Yeah.
whereby the Pharisees and the scribes brought that woman before Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ was at the court of the temple. He was teaching the audience. So
Mm.
when this woman was brought before Jesus, they were insisting on the charges against this woman. Then Jesus asked them simple question because they were asking Jesus, what do you say? Because Moses' law said that such a woman could be stoned.
Mhm.
Jesus responded by telling them that he who has got no sin should cast the first stone. You know what happened? Everybody left the room, even the audience. The class also left, the class which were being taught here. So does it mean that they are guilty? So
Yeah.
all of us are as guilty as charged.
Mhm.
Even that parliament should be dissolved. That parliament should be act as the class which left. So the parliament should be solved. It's a matter of corruption. No one should cast the first stone against Rigiji because even that parliament itself, it is corrupt. So to an extent, I will just say that there was some unfair process that were rendered to Rigiji in that
Okay.
house yesterday.
Okay, thank you so much. I can see Laban Misiani. Welcome to the show. And Laban is saying to us, saying MPs were not fair to Gashagwa. Simply, you are unfair to Kenyans. Thank you so much for your comment. And you've talked about the assembly, the members of assembly, of the National Assembly, in other words, the MPs. You know, before even voting of, before even the deputy president was invited on the floor uh, earlier in the morning sessions, if you followed up um, the most of their arguments on how they were debating, to me, there are some few elements that I picked up. One of those elements were they were kind of like had um, a scripted of what they are going to do in the parliament and them having that interaction, and they might have met somewhere and say this is what we are going to discuss, because if you look at it, most of their discussion was based on one, the tribe, what in terms of shares, that was one. Secondly, it was also um, uh, based on actually what you are calling about other members of parliament of opposite gender that were really, really on her. And at some point, there was a member of parliament who stood up, a female member of parliament who stood up and questioned where is the deputy getting money to hire almost like 20 lawyers. So you're asking yourself, deputy president has a right to bring him legal counsel to advise him on what he's supposed to say, because a matter like that, anything that you say will be used against you. So by having the legal professional behind you, it means you just need that legal advice, so that when the matters now, like you say, they want to put it before the chief justice, so most of the his comments might be used during, if, just in case if that is granted, might be used during the argument. So that was the reason why he managed to have 20 lawyers, and that is one. Secondly, he also has, if he has money to hire, you cannot question that. So it was not dealing more so to the things that affect the Kenyan people. Thank you so much, Murithi Mutungi, for joining us. You can tell us where you are and how are you doing, and kama uko ground pia unaweza tuelezea ground iko aje. Yeah, so that is one thing that I really picked, that it was like kind of like remote controlled, and they came with one agenda. One of the agendas that they came with was to humiliate. this man, to shame this man on the public. You know, it is fair for them to do the due process that the law requires them to do, but you cannot do it in a shaming manner. That is also what I pick. I don't know what is your take on that.
I can agree with you on your point because even the way they ended up the session, after
Yeah.
Rigathi has submitted his views, he allowed minority leader and majority leader to speak after Rigathi, then the owner of the motion. Junet Mohammed and Kimani Shunga are members of parliament. They ought to have submitted their debate argument before Rigathi came into the house. What was so
Yes.
special that they must speak after Rigathi? So it was more of plan. It was plotted that we'll do this way. Then after he has talked, we will give you time so that you can rubbish whatever he has said in this house. That was well planned. But I was pleased with the submission of Otinda Molo.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the reason why.
Yeah.
Otinda Molo had a very nice argument that in terms of shareholding,
Yeah.
whereby Gachagua purported that Ford Kenya and ANC, eh, they 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 managed to get their shares depending on how they agreed on the agreement form.
Mhm.
So Otinda Molo was saying that that agreement form does not supersede the constitution. The
Mhm.
constitution is superior to that agreement form. So there's no way you can beat that argument because of the agreement form on how we are sharing powers. That was a superb argument. But look at how Junet Mohammed was arguing. Junet Mohammed was saying that Ford Kenya is a national party, ANC is a national party, therefore they have a right for shareholding. But the question is, the person who was sitting on the seat of the speaker is the party leader of Ford Kenya. ANC party leader is Mudavadi. None of the members were given shares to that government. So Junet was just trying to rubbish whatever Rigiji was saying. He ought to have followed the argument of Mutinda Molo, could have been nice argument in terms of our constitution is supreme to an extent that the agreement, the negotiation argument cannot supersede the constitution. Once you violate constitution, you must go through due process. There's no way you can argue that we had a negotiable agreement between amongst us, and that's how I was talking about this negotiable agreement. The
Mhm.
negotiable agreement does not supersede the constitution.
Yeah.
Once you violate constitution, you are done. That was a very nice submission. Unlike that of Junet, who was lying to the public in the National Assembly that Rigiji at Ford Kenya and ANC are national parties. So these things, they plotted it. Once Rigiji submitted his argument,
Uh-huh.
majority leader and minority used your time to rubbish everything he has said in this house to go to the public that Rigiji was lying to the house. And you see how Ichunga was not sober in his submission.
Yeah, it is true. What you've said about the senior counsel Chendiamolo. Even I think also he stood up and say that, okay, we have to put it on record about the senior council members who were representing the Rigiji, so they could talk, because like those kind of like very slight mistakes that people tend to miss out, because those can be argued in the courts and say like, I came with my senior council member and they were not given a priority, or they were not given a chance to say something on the courts, on the floor of the house. That one also somebody can bring argument, because like when you are litigating a case, you have to get anything that you can cling on to at least find you winning the case. So, and coming to what you said about the political parties, I think the member of parliament or majority, so what is it, majority or minority leader, he was just pleasing his masters. That is what I can say, because we all know how the political parties in Kenya usually are. We are not very new in this Jerusalem. So we know how political parties are, due to the fact that they are national parties, but some of them do not um, have that nationality, because based on even how the appointment and the member of executive or the officials of those political parties, sometimes you find that they come from one tribe. So um, sometimes they don't meet national outlook. But if he talks about the Ford Kenya that used to be there when Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Kijana Wamalo was there, that was a Ford Kenya that had national outfit. But that one I would agree. But the Ford Kenya we have today, I don't think so. It doesn't give me that national outlook. So in that, I think there he was not very accurate. I might say, even if you look at if even if you look at some of these political parties, they are regional based. They thrive on regionalism. That is what they thrive on. Yeah, because like let's take example like Ford Kenya right now. He's Moses Wetangula, right? But if people vote, where do they get the majority of votes? Some other part of the country they don't even get even a single vote. Then how that does one qualifies you to say that this is a national party? Even if you look at people who are vying, people tend to vie looking at, okay, uh, I know this place, this area, I cannot even get a vote, so there's no need even to fill candidates in those areas. It has happened, and we've known. Or in such like areas, they usually don't have like nomination in those areas. They will just front somebody. You're coming from that, go and vie just only to represent us. Knowing very well that we are not going to win in that. So today I tend to disagree with him. That and um, come to the issue that also dominated majority or the session is about the issue of tribe. And some of the members argued that after this impeachment, I want to see a Kenya where so like I was seated there and looking at it, and I say like what kind of Kenya are we going to realize? And when you're very keen, they're the people, the same people who are creating this chaos for they are the people who are putting Kenya where Kenya is, and the same times they want to solve those issues. What do you say about that?
That's why I brought to you the story of Jesus and the adulterous woman.
Uh,
Members of parliament who are casting the stone towards Rigiji.
yeah,
They are the very members of parliament who have failed Kenya. What I can say, in the proceeding, there was no transparency, there was no accountability, and there was no fight against corruption, because
yeah.
the very members of parliament who are loud, they were casting stone to Rigiji.
Hmm.
They are all victims. Even in that house, we have had members of parliament who are doing business with the government, that
Hmm.
very house.
Yeah.
There are members of parliament who are doing business with the county government of Nairobi.
Hmm.
So, and when they were casting Rigiji,
Yeah.
they should also be the first one to be cast. And for me, I could have abstained if I could be a member of parliament, or I could be absent in that house, because there is no need of you casting the first stone. And Rigiji is just an example, a representation of all of you. That's why we have said the way that class left when Jesus asked them to cast the first stone, even the people were being taught left the classroom.
Hmm.
Members of parliament also should agree with us and let us dissolve that parliament. It should be dissolved, because if they are saying that they are accountable leadership,
Yeah.
what accountability? Let them also admit that they are corrupt and they have misrepresent us in the National Assembly, and let us dissolve the parliament. The same power which president has pushed to impeach Rigiji, but the president has that power to dissolve parliament. Why can't he use it to dissolve parliament? We call for fresh elections. Because in the argument of Otinda Molo,
Yeah.
Otinda Molo have very good argument, despite he voted yes,
Yeah.
but he had very good arguments. The issue, we have introduced the issue of lawyers uh, being named so that it can go for the record that Rigiji was having a representation.
Yeah.
So, in the base of technicality in the High Court, Rigiji could have won on that ground alone, that we had a fair hearing,
Okay. Thank you. I know you will. Okay. Thank you. I hope you're
no,
coming. Uh,
we were heard in silence,
hmm.
but our counsels were never mentioned. So
Hmm.
Tindamolo was very keen and assisted the people who were pushing this uh, impeachment in terms of the technicality of the case.
Okay. And thank you so much, because they did, majority of the MPs did not see that, because what their mind was about Rigathi must go, Rigathi and there was also this this bitter exchange between the TJ Kajuang and
Wageni wa Mushomba.
yeah, and this was it was it was about the tribe and how TJ was describing the president as somebody who believes in one, and Wamushomba had to come in and tend to defend that. What was your take on it?
You know, TJ Kajwang was playing to the gallery. And TJ Kajwang should shift the paradigm of thinking. He
Mm-hmm.
should not think that people are having that old thoughts. You know, long time ago, when you are in from their community,
Mm-hmm.
if you attack a Kikuyu,
Mm-hmm.
you can be elected and you can be re-elected. Those times when Jacoyo Midiwo used to attack people like Dwale in parliament, if you
Mm-hmm.
can sing loud, Millie used to even cry loud in parliament, and just you are going to be re-elected because you have attacked those people who, if you attack a Kikuyu in parliament, for instance, the icons for you to be re-elected was high. Kajwang should now think differently, that people no longer think that on that route, that because he was attacking, to make it worse, he was responding to a woman,
Mm-hmm.
Kadoni Wamutombo. So Kajwang should shift that politics have changed, and
Uh-huh.
people are no longer on those old tactics of thinking that once you attack a Kikuyu, they are going to elect you. And Kikuyu also, once you attack a Luo, they are going to re-elect you. No, 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 no. People have changed. People will, right now, people are saying they are happy because come 2027, they are going to have new members of parliament. How do they know? People are very aware that they are not going to re-elect these people. Because if they cannot dissolve this parliament,
Yeah.
people will use their power at ballot to give parliament a new phase of leadership. Most of them are not going to make a comeback.
Okay, thank you. Talking about on how somebody you've mentioned on how he was playing to the gallery, and it's resemble, if somebody who is dancing, you're on the dancing floor, so you have to make sure that you dance so nicely, especially in a competition, so you could be seen, or not dancing like that, or is you're playing to the mastery, or you're playing so that your masters could reward you, that you played a better role by being very vocal, but in the vocalness where you are in the eye of the public, who knows what is going on, and who have read, or who are, we call them the intelligentsia class, you are not there, because it makes us gauge you, and you know put you where you belong. We know where such like utterances, there's those who dance like that in the floor, we know where they belong. We know, we don't kind of like interested in their dancing moves. Yeah, because we know you are dancing for somebody, you're not dancing for yourself. So we know such like and now let's come to the real issues, that deputy president raised some real issues, that even after the deputy president raised these issues in his submission, none of them came to rebuttal them, especially when it come to issue of forceful eviction, and even there are videos that were played by the deputy president side of forceful eviction. There was this mother who lost the kid while the houses were being demolished. None of the members of the parliament actually talked about that. What they went for the financial part of the the allegations, but none of them talked about the video of forceful eviction that the deputy president was talking about. The reason why maybe he was opposing the forceful eviction, he wanted people to be evicted in a humanity way, and also to be accorded the respect that they need, and the dignity of that human being, of the human dignity. That was what I think what the deputy president was saying. But when it come to rebuttal, none of the members, especially of the parliament, talked about that of the eviction. What is your take on that?
You know, once you are a defense counsel or you are counsel representing a petitioner.
Yeah.
It means that you can only argue points that can make your case look nicer, but you cannot go ahead and maybe make a counter for a submission from a defense that will make your case not look nicer. So wherever your opponent having a strong point, you
Yeah.
tend to ignore. So that's what they were doing. They were ignoring the strong submission from Rigiji. And also Rigiji also could have not admitted any strong submission from the petitioner. But politically, I think a decision has been made somewhere
Yeah.
that Rigiji must go home.
Now that is
So either way, he was whether he can be innocent, a decision has been made that Rigiji must go home.
and
That's what
and
they are doing.
let me tell you, in politics, you learn from what you are seeing. When you're looking at politics or you're doing political analysis, what usually inform your decision are the events, how the events are unfolding. So when the event unfold, the events can tell you what happened prior and what has made us to be where we are and where we are going. And from what we've seen, especially with what is happening, this process is not a process that was started the other day. This is a process that was started 1 year ago, or one immediately after the 1 year in the presidency, or the 1 year of Kenya Kwanza administration. I think, yeah, when they were starting the second year, yeah, this was a process that was started long time ago, and the only thing that was making it not to come into public, there was no tangible something to cling on to bring it on on the public or to the deputy president. That is what I think. And even the working between the Prime Minister Raila Odinga and the President William Ruto, it started long time ago. I think it started immediately after the Azimio protest, when we had that NADCO report. That is when this started. Because remember, I don't think that Deputy President was a fan of the NADCO report. I don't think so. Um, and from there, I think that's where this journey started. And with the coming of the Gen Z and the broad-based government, and now the impeachment, these are just manifestations that to see that maybe the relationship between the deputy president and the president was not such uh, good. They had back and forth in the boardroom, maybe that did not come to us in public. That is what I think, because such like very weighty decision, it is not a decision that can be made in a day. It's a process. You cannot just wake up based on the fact that President William Ruto and Deputy Rigathi Gachagua has, from the public, these are people who have been friends, and from the look of things, they would go to rallies together. Remember, let me tell you, if you look at the history of the administrations that have been in power, this is the only administration where the president and the deputy president will always go to launch projects together, which doesn't happen in other countries or in any other um, institution, where the deputy president will always be in the itinerary of the president, because deputy president has his own work. He should be having his itinerary. There are those functions that they can attend together, yes, but there are those that they can tend to. But if you look at from the initial stages, it was like a chess game. You checkmate. They were checkmating each other. So that's what I think. And at some point, that idea of checkmating might have bring that friction between them, and has led us to where we are. That's what I think.
I think Rigiji received intelligence very late, but
Yeah,
these things begins very early. By the time Ishunga was referring to Raila as His Excellency during the NARCO report,
yeah,
Ishunga was first seen at Capitol Hill's office in Nairobi, that office of Raila Odinga. So things started to unfold by that event, and also by the time these guys were speaking different language, where Rigiji was talking about shareholder, Ruto went to Nyanza and was talking about that. Anybody who is talking about shareholder, that person is primitive. and that is backwardness. So there's a time even Ruto said that he said that if he looks at the future, he's seeing darkness. And Ruto rebuffed by saying that those people who are fighting for us darkness, there is no darkness. We have a bright future. And Rigathi also went ahead and said that if you are a member of parliament, stick to your constituency. Don't move across the country.
Mm,
Ruto responded by telling Rigathi that no, a member of parliament, you are a national leader. That that parliament is the national assembly. That's what it's called national assembly. So you don't stick to your constituency. You move across the country so that you can know how development is being done. So it begins sometimes long time ago, but Rigathi was not seeing it coming. That's what I can say. He received intelligence maybe late.
late, yeah.
It dawned on him late that Ruto was getting rid of him.
Mm, I think he might have, I think like if they might have known their differences. I think he knew, and he was also charting his own ways because like it's a matter of political survivors. How can I survive? Somebody is pushing for that now. Now come again, because there's also something that about members of parliament, and we want to talk about the rigidity, and that's what make me think like sometimes our member of parliament they are the main reason. And I usually say that this parliament is one of the worst parliament in the history of parliamentary democracy. The reason why I say that, because they um they I don't think whether they listen to the challenges that the people on the ground are facing. I don't think so, because one, on how even they did. I don't think that even the speaker was fair to. Yeah, he was very unfair in how he persecuted the matter. And even the public are saying so, that because sometimes you would say something and you would say, okay, can you do it again, like that idea of second chance. Anyway, that is my observation. He might be unfair. And now you remember when the deputy president, and I want to tell you the reason why I feel like the parliament, they're not doing justice to the people. Remember when during the campaign, so during the whole administration, the same deputy president was accused of corruption, and at some point his account were frozen, and there were cases that were he was supposed to clear with the court. And you know that what happened, he spoke about them yesterday. But the first person to drop the cases was Nurdin Hajri, because by then he was the public prosecutor.
Yeah, yeah.
Nurdin Hajri, the NIS boss right now, he dropped the cases. And even when so say that the deputy was attacking the judiciary, the lady. Remember, you know they did not bring these cases then, even when the cases that of corruption that were alleged for the DPC, which ended up his account being frozen. When these cases were dropped, they did not at some point raise these issues and ask, why were the cases dropped and can we look into these cases? But they left them to go like that. When he also attacked the lady, um, her the justice, the lady, they did not
Esther,
bring this. Esther Maina. Yeah, they did not bring these cases. It was normal to them because that was the time, like they were in the same, singing the same language. Remember again during the time when affordable housing project was just kicking off, and it has very hot battles to the next trend whereby even the president himself attacked the judiciary. Remember those uh um the fight between the executive and the judiciary, and until the our Kora. You remember those I called the president our Kora. You remember those? And you know that the members of parliament, and if you're very keen enough, you could see you can remember very well even the members that were allied to the Kenya Kwanza. In the funeral, in any public, the judiciary was on attack, you know. But now, since that everybody was in it, they kept quiet. But now they are bringing this. What does it tell you about our leaders?
you have brought a very nice scenario. During the after the quota the Supreme Court have nullified the elections for Ruto, President Uhuru and Ruto in 2017.
Yeah.
They were better.
Mm.
So when they were better, they were bitter. So when they were bitter, in fact, it is Ruto was quoted. Ruto said that chuma chenu kimotoni.
Mm.
So he told the judiciary, and Uhuru said, "Oh, wakora nyinyi, you have your day today. Our day is coming, and
Yeah.
you will see.
Mhm.
We will revisit it."
Mhm.
They attacked the judiciary. Even Ruto was quoted yesterday by that when he was attacking the IG
Yeah, I'm
and
coming. Yeah.
the DPP,
Yeah.
and he was even using some words which I cannot even quote in this channel.
Yeah.
Those are meant for Ruto. Me, I don't use such words in my life. So he was using such very bad words to describe the security institutions.
Yeah.
So why is it that for refugees now being crucified? They cast against refugees. So the question could be,
Yeah.
why is refugee? Why are they doing this to refugee? And my answer could be, refugee is the story I told you about that woman. Go and read the Bible. It is
I will.
John chapter 8, 1 to 11.
Yeah.
You know, even Jesus Christ told that woman. That woman was left with Jesus Christ
Mm.
when everybody has left the room. So Jesus Christ remained that woman. That woman was like, wow, this is now Christ, the one who condemns people. I'm going to be condemned. Then Christ responded to that woman, where are they? Ask that woman, where are they? That woman said, I can't see anyone. Then Christ responded to that woman, neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more.
Mhm.
So this parliament should not condemn Rigiji. Senate should not condemn Rigiji. National Assembly should not condemn Rigiji because they are also part and parcel of this corruption. They should let Rigiji to go. Rigiji should not sin anymore.
Yeah.
Because why are they put by one person on
Mhm.
the behalf of everybody? And you know where where corruption is.
Yeah.
Corruption is the meaning of corruption is at the president office, not even at deputy president office.
Yeah.
And
So,
everybody knows that in this country that where corruption resides,
mhm.
they know.
Uh, and you've just brought a very case also of the president attacking the security officers, and it was played yesterday, that video. If you go back to those videos, you can listen to then, um, the 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 position, or like the competitors of then during the Kenya Kwanza, the Azimio side. They really castigated the deputy president on attacking the Kinoti, and Wachana na Kinoti, such like words were there. But today, yesterday, those are some of the things that they forgo. They did not even question that. So, to me, in conclusion, what now I think the problem that we have is about the leadership. For us to actualize everything that this country wants, that we have to get good leadership. But without that, and I believe for sure, I'm not supporting the I'm not against or supporting the impeachment of the Rigidi, but I'm trying just to look at what are the facts. How can we grow as a country by not measuring on things that do not affect the people of Kenya, especially like the impeachment of the Rigiji? Because if you ask member of parliament today, because like some of the allegations that are there, because he's a tribal chief, yeah, now is impeached because he's tribal. Will that one stop tribalism in Kenya? Is it the person who has been holding this key of tribalism? So if we decided to take him because he's somebody who speaks about his region, so is a tribal father or a tribal king or a tribal what? So from the day he leaves that office, and now we've taken him out. So Kenya leo, kwa sababu Lani mm, ametolewa mamlakani, mambo ya ukabila imeisha, sasa tuko na Kenya mpya. So those are the questions that we are asking. Will it, so from immediately, let's go, it goes to Senate, then Senate say, okay, you nyinyi sasa, wewe umemalizika, sasa wewe enda nyumbani. kutokea siku hiyo tutakuwa Kenya mpya itazaliwa, Kenya ambayo haitakuwa na ukabila, Kenya ambayo tukiangalia hata tukienda kwa vijiji, tuseme kama tumeenda kwa hata serikali za ugatuzi huko chini, we will not get that clanism because the holder of it, the chief priest, as it said, ametolewa. Sasa Kenya itakuwa iko mpya. Unaamini tutakuwa na Kenya ambayo sasa haina kwa hao ama viongozi tu, kuachana na wananchi. Wananchi hawana shida, yeah, the people of Kenya do not have a problem. I'm talking about the leaders, because if he's gone, he's impeached already, he's going to say, I know he's going to go home. Now, the rebirth of New Kenya, we are going to get a birth of New Kenya without tribalism. What do you say about that?
I don't think so. Kenya is being born daily depending on who is presiding over the state. So
Yeah.
when it favors you, Kenya is mpya. When it doesn't favor you, Kenya is mpya. So what I can say, I can just give you a few examples. You know, we are diverse, and we have to admit that we are diverse.
Yes.
And we are the country you have used that we have more than 43 plus tribes. So, you know, in this country, Brother Benson, if you look at even, if you look at, for example, let me use the historical view. Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yeah.
Because Uhuru Kenyatta is was Mount Kenya king. But in Nyanza, people do not even know who is Uhuru Kenyatta. They don't even hear.
Yeah.
But in Mount Kenya, they treat him as a king. Vis-a-vis, Raila Odinga is a king in Luo Nyanza. But in Central Province, he's called a Muganga or Mchavi, witchcraft, whatever they call him. So you find that in this country, there's even Ruto is in a Kalenjin is a king. So there are certain regions whereby a leader is viewed as a king, but in the region that leader is not even closer to be a chief. So what does this tell you? This is that the issue of tribalism will not end with Rigathi going home. Whether Rigathi is impeached or is not impeached, from the historical development of our country, tribalism is not easy to end with impeaching Rigathi. Look at the two scenarios. The same charges which have been presented before Senate and National Assembly against Rigathi are similar to charges against William Ruto, because William Ruto has threatened judiciary. He himself, he has been accused of those allegations of tribalism. And even there's a certain video going viral right now on TikTok, maybe on X, that Ruto said in Swahili that hakuna wenye wako na shida sana kama Wakalenjin na Wakikuyu. Sisi tuko shida kubwa na Wakikuyu. Hakuna kabila ingine kuna shida kubwa kama Wakalenjin na Wakikuyu. And today is the sitting president of the Republic of Kenya, and is purporting to be fighting tribalism. So it is only good, it's only Kenya mpya. It depends on who is presiding. Because if the similar charges which they are accusing Rigathi can go home with those charges. Ruto was never sent home with similar charges. So Ruto is now serving state house, but the similar things Rigathi did, he also did them during the previous regime. So does it mean that if Ruto stays, we have Kenya mpya, and the person who has been accused of the similar crimes also goes home? Does it mean that now one stays and one goes home? That's why I'll come into your submission that you say that, does our leaders really get the mood on the ground? Do they really know what people want? It is true. They don't know, they don't understand. That's why even during the Gen Z protest, none of the leaders were relaying the factual information to the people at the government that this is what Gen Z are saying, because we were receiving different response from our demands. So it means these people, what I told you, they're still subscribing, they are still subscribing to that old school of thought, whereby they believe that by attacking your opponent or by attacking someone or profiling someone with tribalism, the people of your community will just vote for you, even without accountability. Now, we ought to be putting Ruto into accountability and questioning about transparency. We are busy fighting his deputy, and we are engaged into their war, even if you are not there in the front line or physical war, but we are engaged in their war, even with our discussions. All the mainstream media, all the social media are busy engaging into what next after impeachment. But remember, we ought to be at this time putting this government into accountable. What does it tell you? It tells that these people, they still subscribe to that old politics. They think that people will soon forget, come 2027, is going to be re-elected on the basis that he presided over impeaching Rigathi Gachagua. Some MPs will go back to their backyard and ask the electorate that, I sent Rigathi home. Can you give me another term? So do you think people will vote for him because you sent Rigathi home? People
Uh,
have shifted the paradigm. So they should be aware that
but
the common voter, the average voter,
uh,
is now well equipped with civic education. That they should know that.
okay. Gitonga, habari ya wewe. I hope you're doing good here. We are doing okay. We are just having a conversation about what happened yesterday. We are just picking up some of the scenes that we saw on the parliament. And again, we are joined with Makobura. Makobura Barigani.
Okay. How are you?
I'm good. How was your day?
My day was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And we are here managing here with my brother Miguda. We were just talking about what transpired yesterday about the impeachment of the deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, and we e- we say it was a historical moment under the new constitution. Is going in the history book. Whether the process was unfair or it was fair, but the history has been made. Thank you so much, Gitonga, if you're doing good. Okay, asante sana kama unaenda poa. So we've picked up some of the scenes that we feel, you know, were fair or were not fair, and the process now is in the Senate. They've started their process over there. But maybe you watched the proceedings yesterday. So is there something special that you picked that our viewers you'd want to share with our viewers before we bring you into now to the main discussion?
Okay. First, let me take this opportunity to say hi to our viewers. Hi to Meguda. Hi to everyone watching. All those who are at the comment section and all those who are not commenting. I think it is also right for me to say that I had prophesied that the deputy president would be impeached. I think I did that almost 4 or 5 months ago. I remember we were three the way we are, and the two of you believed that it was impossible, next to impossible. So I think today I'm a prophet. Yeah. So I think something that I would say about what happened is that this was a very well calculated move.
Mm.
Personally, I knew it was going to come, and I knew that he would be impeached because what confirmed to me that was the time when this impeachment started. Remember, there were some accusation, people accusing the president and some members of parliament of not respecting the deputy. But again, the deputy also accused the president and his close allies of not respecting him. And if you can keenly remember, so many instances when the president was with the likes of Sudi, Ishungwa, they would come out in presence of the president and say how the deputy president was not fit and that the deputy president was running his own government, in quotes. So there was a confirmation that these people are not together and they were not really I mean making decisions which would then run the country together the way they were elected. Because if they if they were together, the president would have come out to either try tame his close allies, which he didn't. So when I saw that, I knew this was coming, and the president had calculated this together with his close allies, and I can see I had not I was not actually watching, but from the comments I can see someone was saying that I don't know who said that the whole impeachment process was not fair. But to me, I would say that this is something which had been planned, and I wouldn't really say that they were not fair. But what I would say is that that was the truth. And something else that I would add is that if the president would go through the same, of course, the same problems that they found the deputy president having are the same ones that they would find the president also having. In short, I'm trying to say that all of them has reasons to be impeached.
Mm.
And so it was fair that he was impeached. If the president is also brought through the same process, it would be fair that he's also get impeached because they have all gone against the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. Yeah, so I
Okay.
think that is what I can say about the whole process. Uh, there were some people saying that the deputy president was not given enough time to be heard. I somehow agree with that because we as a people expected that because the Speaker of the National Assembly, together with the Deputy Speaker and the Majority Leader, had already taken a stand, and
What
that
about minority?
and even the minority, so they had already taken a stand. So we wouldn't really expect a smooth, fair trial. Yeah, so that is what I can say because if the Speaker himself, who should be neutral,
Yeah.
had clarified that he was going to do it without any fairness. Of course, we wouldn't have expected any fairness there.
Okay.
But it was worth. Truly, the deputy president has gone against the constitution, but not just him. That is why I'm saying even if the president is also taken through the same process, he would go home. It is so unfortunate that the members of parliament are not being truthful to themselves to an extent that judging everyone in a similar manner. That is where challenge is coming.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. And that is something that also we were looking at. We are not so much concerned about the process or why he was impeached and all that, because what is that? But we are looking at the leadership that we have and how is that one going to solve the issues that we are going people are going through as a nation. And something that also I want to get your idea of, because we remember there was a public participation and people had to say uh, who this one has to go, this one Rigathi. And from there the National Assembly released the tabulation of how people voted. And when you listen to people on the ground, they feel like those numbers has been doctored, because there's some constituencies that the member of the parliament did not even show up. Some of the constituencies were very chaotic, and how did they arrive at those numbers? So that is also something that people are questioning and say, were this documentation doctored in a way?
Uh, Remember, I've said that this was a calculated move,
Hmm.
and any member of parliament who had actually most of them had taken a stand. So they were just supposed to rubber stamp and proceed with the whole process.
Okay.
It was the way representation of the people and the comments and the participation of the Kenyan citizen was carried.
Yeah.
I think from my seat it was not fair.
All right.
It was not fair because not every constituency was represented, meaning there is a group of people who never gave their comment,
Mm-hmm.
and that is against what the constitution tells us. And something else that I also noticed is that uh, while people are giving their opinions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it was not fair for them to include the charges because the deputy president by then had not been given a chance to clarify or to talk about the comments. So I think that was not fair enough because any human being, after reading all those things, if the person who has been accused has not been given chance to chance ile ya kujitetea, of
Mhm.
course automatically you'll say that, oh, this is wrong, aliba. And you know how Kenyans behave, aliba, yes, you know. So I think that was not fair. And I would just say that as Kenyans or as leaders,
Mhm.
let us be mindful, let us be truthful to an extent that if we are wishing wrong to our brothers or sisters, we should know that the same would also come to us. If they were taking the deputy president through that process, I'm not saying it was wrong or anything, but they should know that the president himself, should the impeachment motion come, we will also include the all those things, including the lands that he grabbed along, I don't know where, and
Who,
we will tell
who,
him that he took
who,
it.
is, who is going to bring impeachment against president?
That's a good question, and I think that also clarifies or answers what I just said previously, that there is no fairness.
Mm,
There is no fairness in the whole process
mm,
because we are seeing a situation where we do something and then we say that this is what the law says, and if it is done to us, we are not okay or comfortable with it. So, in short, when we are impeaching, let us impeach everyone who has gone against the Constitution, everyone who is in the leadership of the Republic of Kenya, because that is what the Constitution says. Anyone who has gone contrary to what the Constitution says in leadership should actually exit. And majority of them, even those who are doing the impeachment, the members of parliament, most of them
mhm.
lack what it takes to be in that parliament. And it was also so unfair for the members of parliament to come, I mean, to be that active in that parliament in such a time, but in situation where issues affecting mwananchi directly are being discussed, they are not there to be, they are not seen.
Mm.
That tells you that this was a well planned thing by the political class, and they just wanted the DP out. I think the next question that we should be asking ourselves is, why did they want the DP out?
Yeah, and yeah, that also will come, and we will have to ask. That is also another question that we need to ask ourselves. That why was he wanted out in and how the process was done in such a manner. You know, um it was like i-
It was arid. Did
uh,
it go fast? It's like that plan and they didn't want to waste time. They knew that if they tried to waste time, then something else might come along the way. The people
they,
of Kenya would
um,
think otherwise. I don't know.
okay, Miguda, let me also engage you on how the public participation were done and the Kenyans gave their opinion. But we did not hear the Speaker of the National Assembly reading those results. I think the person who talked about it was Honorable Kaluma when he was some 10 minutes were donated to him by the mover of the motion. And the speaker did not do, I think they later put it on they released it on the website to the public. Who should read those documentation, such like the views of the people?
I think it came from the clerk office. It's
Yeah,
clerk who,
oh, Clark.
yeah. But clerk gave us the result on X space. We saw it.
Oh,
It was published in the website of Parliament. If
yeah,
you go to Parliament website, you will find it. It's there.
okay. So because like when you look at the result and you compare it to the reaction, how people were reacting um, during public participation, does it reflect what was on the ground, or the people on the ground were just having those moments but they did not put in their say, and the few that put in their say now carried the day.
You know, there's a culture in this country. Someone can say something on the media
Yeah.
for him to please media. For instance, you can someone in the real sense, that this government is defunct.
Mhm.
But because you fear that maybe you fear the police or the news, that is, you like that this government is functional in the media. But when given a chance to vote, you will vote that this government is defunct. So you can't know who is speaking, because those people who are saying that impeach both. If you
Mhm.
look at the result from, even, let me take for example the result from Baringo.
Mhm.
Baringo, they voted almost to no man that impeach Rigiji. But the comment from the people who are being interviewed, they were saying that impeach both. So you cannot tell who is speaking. Also, we don't know even how it was done. Maybe the media select only those people who are for pro impeach both,
Yeah.
but the media to pick those people who voted I support impeachment. So it's very difficult to tell. What I can ascertain is that it is the parliament website that majority of the people
Mhm.
voted that impeach Rigathi Gachagua. That's the result. But the issue of public participation,
Yeah.
I think public participation has no any effect to the proceeding of the motion, and you have seen it even in parliament. It's
Mhm.
not even being discussed.
Yeah.
Once the motion is in accordance with the standing orders and the provision of the law, it will proceed. And we have seen now already it is in the Senate. Today in the, I think in the afternoon session, senators were almost debating on how they will handle the matter. So it's no longer a National Assembly thing. It's now
Yeah.
a Senate thing. So the process is still on. I think the issue of public participation is very vital only when it comes to the proceedings in the court, whereby I told you earlier that in the High Court, we are going to look at the legality of the process. We want to look at the due process of the law. We want to look at the irregularity. We want to look at the constitutional rights. If anything contravene the constitution or is in contrary, because these are petition. So we want to look, those are things which are going to be looked into the High Court. That's why the case of Enoch, governor,
Yeah.
was nullified on the ground of public participation. So public participation will only assist the councils or the parliament, the National Assembly councils, while they will be in the court to petition against the defense team. That's why Otinda Molo, I told Otinda Molo was because Otinda Molo tried to provide some technical assistance to the National Assembly, because those defense lawyers were keen on the technicality of the case, and they want to challenge that case based on the technicality. But thank God, to some extent, the council saved them from
Yeah.
those technicalities. So going forward, the public participation is not the motion. It should be clear to the people that public participation does not mean that if you say that impeach both, the impeachment process is not going to proceed.
Mhm.
It will proceed whether you vote yes or no.
Or no.
The mere thing is there was public participation. That's what they want to look at.
Yeah. So okay. Thank you so much. And now there's some questions that are being raised in terms of legal. I don't know whether you can assist us on it, because right now, the president was elected, and the two of them, yeah, and now one of them is being impeached on misconduct, or on the gross violation of office and all that, the allegation of corruption, all the 11 charges. How what is now the process of appointing, just in case he is impeached in the Senate? What is the process of appointing a new um, deputy?
Legally, once the senator, okay, Keep was getting in. Legally, once the senators impeached Rigathi Gachagua, because there was a special request by Senate Majority Arun Cheriot not to not to allow the process to go through the Senate, so that they can constitute a committee of 11 members to hear and determine the case. But
Yeah.
it has not got any support from the minority, because Sifuna has not supported it. So they are going for a full hearing at the Senate. So what happens? Impeachment happens at the Senate. Impeachment does not happen at the National Assembly. National Assembly only is yet. So once it has the Senate, it is the senators to hear and determine. So once the senators have agreed, two-thirds of the senators voted yes, Rigiji sees becoming the deputy president of Kenya immediately. There's nothing we are going to wait for. Once the senators have voted and two-thirds of the senators have supported the impeachment motion,
Yeah.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua ceased to become the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. From there on, senators will notify the National Assembly and the President. The President will appoint the new Deputy President instantly. People might argue that how is he going to appoint new Deputy President and there's no IBC? The role of IBC is to conduct and manage elections. The role of the President is to appoint the Deputy President. So once Rigiji has ceased to become the Deputy President, the President is going to appoint the new Deputy President. Once the new Deputy President is appointed, then he will get approval from the National Assembly. The National Assembly will approve that name for the which president has proposed. Reason being, it is the National Assembly that is going to approve this member. They are going to look at the qualifications, be it academic, be it capacity. It is National Assembly that is going to check onto that. So once the National Assembly has approved that name, that person is going to be sworn in and is going to become the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. You can ask the question is, what if Rigiji is going on with the legal battle in the court? From the one senator have impeached him. Yes, once the senators have impeached him, we are going to have a new deputy instantly. So Rigiji will go on to the High Court because the High Court is where it's going to look at the legality of the process. So the High Court will check on the irregularities. The High Court will check on the due process of the law. The High Court will check on the constitutional rights. Rigiji, either way, the petitioner or the defense can appeal if one of them is dissatisfied with the decision of the High Court. Once they have appealed to the Court of Appeal role is very simple. You want to interpret, you want to look, was it fair, the Senate? Did senators do their role as senators? Was impeached based on the legal, on the facts? So once the Court of Appeal has assisted us into that, and either of the party got dissatisfied with the determination, they can move to the Supreme Court and the final court. Supreme Court will make a decision, and that decision will be a landmark decision, and it will bind all parties. But the process can take maximum of 6 months. That's why I told you that we can't be 6 months without a deputy president. The moment Rigiji is impeached by the senator, he ceases being the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya immediately. So we are going to have a new deputy immediately. The work of the Senate is done. So Rigiji will battle on with the cases in court as we are having a new deputy. Then the question is, what if the Supreme Court reinstated Rigiji to be the deputy president? Because Rigiji was the initial office holder of the deputy president, is going back to the deputy president. But the new deputy president is going to resign because he was not the initial office holder. So by the time we are going on with the battle case, we are going to battle our case in the court. We have a new deputy. In case the court reinstated the deputy, is going back to his office as the deputy president, vis-a-vis the new deputy president is going to resign. So there is no vacancy, there's no vacuum in that office. But if Rigiji goes, there's going to be vacuum of power. That's now I should be our next discussion, Brother Benson.
Okay, thank you so much. Kip, Barry Gani, how are you doing, my brother? Are you still on phone? Thank you so much, Miguda. Kip,
Yes.
how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. Let me come in like 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much for that. We'll be waiting for you. Makobura, thank you so much for coming in again. And um, if you look at the entire discussion from the morning to evening, if you got a chance yesterday, there's some issues that even the members of parliament did not engage on, and they were very specific on two issues, like especially if you look at the women members of parliament, they were engaged on the utterances that deputy made and called, a word that we don't want to use it here, and that is what they were so much on. And the other counterpart were about Rigidi must go, and it was all about along the tribal line, and some other charges were not even discussed to exhaustion in parliament until he came in. What does that one tell you about the parliament we have?
The parliament that we currently have is a compromised parliament that works by the commands of the executive, and that is why we are seeing it confused as it is. A parliament should be making decisions by themselves. It is so unfortunate that the executive decides, and then they pass without asking why
Mhm,
and when.
mhm.
The parliament that we have in this era, this is the 13th parliament.
Yeah, this is the 13th parliament.
This is the worst parliament, a group of members of parliament that we've had in the history of Kenyans, because this is the only group of legislature whom the people of Kenya had issues with. And for the first time, the people of Kenya went for demonstrations and even invaded the parliament and took back the power that they had given to them in that parliament. So that is a clear confirmation that the parliament we have, without looking, I think the mentality of the people of the leaders that we currently have, they think that they're answerable to the president. And I'm wondering what they are looking at, especially when they are trying to seek this kind of attention from the president. Because if you see how they act, they want to impress the president, they want to impress their party leaders. If you see the members of parliament from the ODM side, if Baba says left, they go left without asking why not right. The same in the UDA. If Ruto says something, they follow without questioning. And this is something that we should really look into as a people. Because when we have a group of people that we've delegated to them that they be our representative and they're not consulting us, then we are not in a good direction.
Why do you say they're not consulting you yet? When it come to public participation, they came and brought in those papers for the people to sign and make.
They're
That
doing
was
it
not consultation.
they're doing it in a wrong manner.
Mm.
Why do you come to a public participation with, I would say, an informed decision already? Would you go or tell the people of Kenya to go for public participation of impeaching the deputy president, and you are telling them that the deputy president did this, told this, and you've not even given that deputy president to tell us whether those things belongs to him or not. You've not given EACC or those people who are responsible to tell us whether those things are true or not. That
But
is
let me ask you, just to add, because you remember we just discussed with Miguda about that the same issue. Um, in the run up to 2022 general election, the current deputy president had cases which ended up his account being frozen in the pretext that he engaged in corruption. That was there, you know. And immediately they came into office, all these charges that were against the deputy president, including his accounts that were frozen, all these charges were dropped. You know, all of them. There is no charge that was left. And the members of parliament did not ask the reason why the charges were being dropped. And actually, we said with Miguda that the person who dropped those charges were public prosecutor. Then was Nurdin Haji, who is the boss right now of NIS. Is the person who dropped those cases.
I on the same kindly.
Yeah.
Before I forget, you said that he had cases of
Yes.
which were dropped and the members of parliament did not ask, right?
Yes.
Why is
Why
it then why is it
now?
then relevant for them now to do it now? That
Yes.
is hypocrisy. Hiyo
Yeah.
ni wanajidanganya na wanadanganya Wakenya pia, na hiyo
Mhm.
inaonyesha ya kwamba hao watu wako na nia yao na mwenye amewatuma pia ako na nia yao. Sasa ni vile hawajui nia ya mwenye amewatuma, who is the president and those people who are responsible, those people who want him to be impeached. You know them, they're just satisfying what the boss want. But them, they do not understand why the boss wants him out. Personally, from where I see, if you ask me why the deputy president is being impeached,
Yeah.
I think he's being impeached
No,
because he
the
has a
reason why
loose.
he's impeached, he has already been impeached.
The process has not ended.
Oh,
So
okay.
far, he's still the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you ask me why he's being impeached, I would tell you that it's because I would say he has a loose mouth. He doesn't cloth words nicely. He speaks it the way it comes. And that is a problem to thieves who are surrounding the president and those people with bad intentions. From where I see, the deputy president is a character that you'd come and have a conversation with. He behaves like Sonko. Kikiumana atakuja aseme ya kwamba huyu mtu alisema tulikuwa na yeye huko akaniambia tufanye hivi na hivi. That is the reason why the deputy president is being impeached,
No.
because he had seen.
Is it because?
At first, let me explain. At first, he was trying to cloth his wordings,
Yeah.
but that was not who he was, or actually, that is not who he was.
Mhm.
So it got to a point where alikuwa anajificha na tabia ingine yenye si yake, so it had to get exposed, and that is what we are seeing, and that is a threat to the people. You see, the deputy president is one that if he hates someone the way he hated Raila and Uhuru, he showed it. And even if you'd see how he was commenting, you'd see that this is the right guy. Huyu sasa ndio msema ukweli, huyu ndio ataki Uhuru ya ukweli, huyu ndio. That is why he was used.
No,
And
I don't think.
is very
I don't.
clever.
I don't think on president, on the former president. Maybe it was just a campaign to
As much as
no,
it was a campaign, I agree
yeah,
with you, but it was personal to him at that point.
yeah.
The view that he had towards Raila Amolo Odinga was personal and serious for that time. Along the way, we are human beings. At times, you get to see that stupidity sometimes also gets people out of the track. And that is what was happening. So these people are fearful of Rigiji because of one thing. Rigiji ako na kiperepere. Rigiji akifika mahali ingine atasema ile ukweli yote, na ile maovu yote yenye wamekuwa wakifanya itajulikana. The character of Rigiji is similar to Mike Sonko. Mike Sonko is the only person that would call you. You think that mnapiga mushene na yeye, kumbe he has recorded these things. And one day when they will be needed, he will give them out. So we should also expect more. The deputy president, if he goes, I'm telling you, he's going to come up with, he's going to inform the people of Kenya so many things that we are not aware of. And I hope that the relevant authorities would take those comments seriously.
But like some people argue that deputy president actually he should stay, and by him staying will make it possible for the corruption that we are getting from all this government, and that so we will not have such a corruption, because like if you try to do corruption, the truthful man might try to expose you, and like it will be a checkmating.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, if it were possible,
Mm.
this would be the best time that the deputy president would be left to be part of that government.
Yeah.
Because if he continues being there, we are going to see a transparent government, a government that is going to be fearful of one DCI, Deputy President Rigiji. And those people are not going to mess with the Republic, I mean, with the resources of the Republic of Kenya if he's allowed to continue. But I know they are not going to allow him because they know that there's a possibility this government might not get back come 2027. So they totally want to loot. They don't want anyone around mwenye atawanika. And that is why they are seriously and by all means trying to get Rigathi Gachagua out. Rigathi Gachagua, as much as he's a thief or he has looted, it is a system. It is something normal in the government. Ruto has done the same. All those people surrounding him, those in the political class, are all thieves and looters. So they should not crucify one thief. If all thieves are crucified, when crucifixion is there, then all the thieves, and that is why Do you know why Jesus Christ was crucified?
Tell us.
He was
Thank you,
crucified.
Marceline Mwangi. Thank you so much for joining.
The reason why they crucified Jesus is because the most let me put it this way. He was crucified by thieves, and that symbolizes that had a symbol. And Jesus Christ was one of the perfect perfect person that ever existed on this world. As much as he did what was right, the people were not happy with him, still accused him of so many things. And he ended up being crucified by thieves. So, I'm not saying that I should try linganishi DP na Jesus Christos. What I'm saying is that sometimes we do things as a people without really looking deeply at what we are doing. And that is why I'm saying that from where I sit, we have a parliament that is inactive, a parliament that does not know their function, a parliament that do not really care about the people that they represent, a parliament that is being remote controlled by the executive, a parliament that cannot make decisions by themselves, led by a speaker who purports to have gone through the law school and everything,
But he's a
behaves.
lawyer by profession. The speaker is a lawyer by profession. He was
He
Moi lawyer,
is,
by the way.
he is, but he's not behaving like a lawyer. These people go to take a oath. The lawyers do take a oath to respect the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya and to defend it. It is
Yeah.
only that it is not as similar as that of the president.
Hmm.
In any profession, you not go take any oath of defending and protecting the Constitution, but them they do. Why is he not following that? That is the question.
Okay, Mr. Kip.
Niambie.
Hey, habari gani?
Mzuri sana.
Asante sana kwa kujiunga na sisi katika kipindi yetu ya jioni. Kuna mambo mengi ambao tunajadili hapa kulingana na kumng'oa mamlakani naibu wa rais ambapo ilifanyika jana katika bunge na saizi mambo iko seneti. We maoni yako gani?
I know, I found you when, is it Meguda? I think Meguda was speaking.
Yeah.
And Meguda, the way he was explaining that now the ball is on Senate. And the Senate are the final decision where if they will have decided that the deputy president is going, they are the ones.
Yeah.
I think, Meguda, for you now, you need to explain to the people of Kenya like me, who I don't understand anyway, or I don't understand why the Senate is the very important part of it, that when they have decided, they will have decided. Because there are so many people at home there, they don't know. Why is it that Senate is the main decision maker, not the parliament, like yesterday what we saw? You see? I don't know, after Senate, do you still have to move to court again? Or that is over? Mikuda, some questions are meandering in the minds of Kenyans.
Captain Keep, I think I explained earlier, so I'll repeat it. explain it again or like repeating myself. But I know I don't like repeating myself. Let me just be brief.
No problem, Miguda, on repeating yourself. Maybe this is your last chance now of going to heaven. What if they say now you are going to heaven through repeating this? You'll remain in Kenya and the problems will be so many for you. Yani, what I mean is that the reason why, or as maybe even you can quote somewhere in the constitution that says the Senate is the final decision maker. Quote somewhere there, and that is now how we educate our people, how they will understand. I don't know if you are getting what I mean.
I'm getting very clearly. I'm getting very clearly. Now it's a bit long, but let me try to be brief. I say I said, Parliament, we have bicameral, Parliament is a bicameral house. We have two houses. National Assembly, because we want to get to the ear of someone who's at home, the layman. So we have the National Assembly and the Senate. So, National Assembly, they initiate the bill, they bring the bill. So these are a special motion to impeach the deputy president. And after it has been debated and voted in by the people who are members of parliament, and they have given their vote in, the motion again, as per the provision in Article 144, 145, now 146, that is how to impeach the president. The provision is how to impeach the president. But now, deputy president is being impeached in the provision of Article 150. Now the process is because it formed part of the presidency, being deputy president. So from the National Assembly, the Senate. And Senate, they are supposed to have 11 committee. This 11 committee
is it
more
11 committees or 11 members of the committee?
11 members of a committee is more of a court whereby they are going to preside here, they're going to hear and determine this case. But now, Majority Leader Arun Cheriot seek that from the Speaker that we want to form that 11 members in a committee to hear this case. But the Speaker has declined that special request from Arun Cheriot. Now it's going to go for a full hearing in the Senate. What am I trying to say here? Senate is an extension of National Assembly, but it's just parliament. It is the parliament. Now, instead of forming that 11 members, they have decided, because in Senate, there are standing orders. These how decisions are being made, and the Speaker preside. So in their own wisdom, they have seen it now, instead of forming that 11 members, let us do it as senators, because the motion is before the Senate. So they have discretion to decide whether to go through 11 members committee or to deal with it at the Senate level. So they are going to deal with it at the Senate level, that full trial. The same thing the 11 members could have done is what they are going to do. So the question of, they have said that from Senate, now he has been impeached. Do we go to court or what happens?
Okay, so now Miguda, because now just a minute from there, let me interrupt you, because we have not reached there. We are in a position whereby the minority, I don't know, what is the name of this senator for Nairobi? He refused to second the motion. Where are we heading to now from there?
Yeah. Maybe I was a bit faster. When Sifuna has not refused to second the motion. What Sifuna has declined to second, there was a request from Arun Cheriot, majority leader, from the Speaker, that if the Speaker can allow them, they should form 11 members of the committee within the Senate to hear that case. But now that special request has not been supported by the majority of the senators. That's where people like Sifuna have declined that no, let us not form 11 members. Let us do it as senators. So the next step, the motion is going to be heard by senators, all of them at the Senate. That's where the motion will head to.
So, as per the constitution, it is allowed that if there is no any 11 members from in the formed committee, the senators can handle the case and they can deliver their report.
Yeah, sure. That's what the constitution says.
Very good.
In fact, the constitution said that it is the senators, but there's that provision of 11 members. So it was just requesting special requests from the speaker if they can go through that 11 member. But the constitution is specific about the senators.
Very good. Now the senators, they will give their report. Maybe they will say, no, the deputy president allegations, the 11 allegations or whatever, they are not true, or maybe they are true. Is there any other thing that they are moving to court? Let's say now it is true. Rigiji must go to Mathira.
Yeah, well, yeah. So you know what happens? At Senate, they need 2/3 to vote yes that Rigiji should go. So when they meet that 2/3, they will impeach Rigiji. So once he's impeached by senators, he will cease becoming the deputy president. Automatically, he's no longer deputy president. But if the Senate favor him, they don't impeach him, he will remain the deputy president. Now, from there, the petitioner, these people brought this impeachment motion from National Assembly, that MP from Kibwezi, or the National Assembly, they can go to court, to High Court, that why is it that the Senate never impeached Rigiji? Vis-a-vis, Rigiji, if he's impeached, he can go to court to argue that why is it that I'm being impeached? So from there, either one of them can proceed to High Court. I don't know, are we together up there?
Yes, you can hear you.
I'm getting lost. Yeah, I'm getting lost somewhere.
So
I'm getting lost somewhere.
Yeah, just ask before I proceed.
Okay. Now, if the senators, they say now Rigiji has to go home, is there anything you are moving to court? Because I heard you somewhere saying the Senate is the final. There is no any other.
Yeah, I'm getting very clearly.
Yeah, there is no any other. I want you to teach me like a toddler, because there is a Kenyan somewhere. Not because of me. I think you understand. This is a platform.
I know. You're asking that question on behalf of somebody.
On behalf of Kenyans, not someone. On behalf of Kenyans who are here. Like you see the comment section now, they are quiet. They want to listen on what exactly we are saying. So I heard you saying the Senate is the final. There is no now Rigiji will cease to be deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, after they will have said he's not fit to hold the office of the deputy president. Is that so? Or we are still going to court?
Yeah, so what I'm saying, impeachment happened at Senate, not National Assembly. Let us now distinct that impeachment, it happens at the Senate. The whole thing we have been having is the process. Now the actual institution where impeachment takes place is the Senate. Let me not use the word the Senate is final. So the decision of the Senate, that is where the impeachment takes place. So at the Senate, they can either impeach Rigiji or not. But I was looking at somewhere by the impeach Rigiji by 2/3, that Rigiji has been impeached by the Senate. Rigiji has a right to proceed to court, and he can go to High Court. He can go to High Court to find out the legality, whereby he can go to High Court for things like irregularity, constitutional rights, and the due process of the law. So in High Court, he can go to seek redress that his constitutional right was violated, or there was no due process of the law, or there was irregularity of the process. So but what I mean by the Senate is final is, once senators have impeached Rigiji, he will not become he will no longer be the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. And the president can as well move on to appoint a new deputy. as Rigathi is battling his war in the corridors of court, we'll have a new deputy going on. So what happened at the Senate, Mr. Kip, is that Senate has a final say on the impeachment. Once they have done that impeachment, Rigathi will no longer become the deputy president. So as he proceeds to court, president has that green light to appoint a new deputy. So the president will go on with the new appointment, and this new appointment will be proved by the National Assembly, and the swearing in will go on. As we are having a new deputy, remember, Rigathi is in court. He's in high court. In high court, if he is dissatisfied with the decision of the high court, he can go to the court of appeal. Now in court of appeal, there's going to look at the interpretation, whereby the court of appeal is going to look at was the process by the Senate to impeach Rigathi, was it in accordance with the Constitution or provision of the law? That's now where they look at things like, was there public participation in the process? Was there legality? Was there irregularity? So from Court of Appeal, he can move to Supreme Court. But remember, we are already having a new deputy president because he becomes the deputy president when senators impeach him. So this process can take minimum of 6 months. So the question could be, what if the Supreme Court reinstated Rigathi, that Rigathi, now you are not guilty, go back to become deputy president? What happened to the new deputy president who has been appointed? The answer could be, or the answer is, Rigathi, because he was the deputy president, he was the initial office holder. He will go back to the deputy president, but the newly appointed deputy president is going to resign. So I keep up to there. I think if you can have any question.
I still have a question, Miguda. I'll not let you to go because I see our constitution is unfair to some of us, and it's unfair also to Rigathi because Rigathi has to move to court, and the president there is ready to appoint anyone he wants. This person will be appointed, and the parliament will have to maybe to try to see, like the way they do committees and all whatever, they start questioning the appointee. If he qualifies, they'll swear him in. Is that so?
Yeah.
Okay, now we are swearing him in, this person, and the constitution says whoever will be appointed by the president during campaigns and all whatever is definitely has been voted for. Who has voted for this person appointed by the president? Which campaign has he done? That president is just appointing somebody, and the government swore him in, leave alone those things of parliament and whatever. Is this constitution, you don't see it is unfair to Kenyans? And again, listen, and again, we are in a position whereby we have appointed another deputy president. The other deputy president is moving from one court to another. Even East African court, we still have that one. They can decide that it was wrong. He was not supposed to be impeached. Now the taxpayers' money of paying this one who will resign and Rigathi to continue is being used. Which you know what I mean. Let me not explain further than that. You understand?
So first, let me begin with your second question, then come to your first question. In Kenya, Supreme Court is the apex court, is the final court, is the final court of the land. So whether you move to East Africa or whatever court, the decision of Supreme Court will be final. Then the question we're asking is the question which Kenyans are asking. And the question has been asked for the last 2 weeks that they are elected on a joint ticket. Now, this one, the newly appointed one, was not elected with the president on a joint ticket. But remember, the same constitution was saying that it's unfair. Also has spelled out grounds for impeaching the deputy president. Now the point is, the deputy president, either way, he was appointed. And who appoints him? The president. The fact that they were elected on a joint ticket doesn't mean that it was not appointed. It was appointed. The difference is, or the difference could be, that the current new constitution, in this new dispensation, you appoint or you nominate your deputy towards election. But the previous constitution, you can nominate or appoint your deputy after election. That's the repeat constitution. So appointing Rigiji before election or after election, appointment is appointment. Nominating Rigiji before or after, nominated. But the point which our people must get it right here, that Rigiji, even before they got into joint ticket, he was nominated. A president has a right to nominate his running mate and to designate duties and roles to him or to her. Raila nominated Martha Karua before elections. William Ruto nominated Rigiji before elections. But the president was William Ruto. Let me put it in a simple explanation. During election, when you walk into a polling station, you are given 6 ballot papers for member of county assembly, member of parliament, women rep, senator, governor, and the president. There are no extra ballot for deputy president. There are no extra ballot for deputy governor. We have only ballot for the president and deputy president. And they're very specific. Who are you voting for? Raila Odinga. Whom are you voting for? William Ruto. As who? As president of the Republic of Kenya. They are not specific that I'm voting for this guy as the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. Because if at all we could be voting for Rigiji or Martha Karua, they could have their own ballot papers or their own ballot boxes, whereby we have even 7 or 8 ballot box or ballot papers. But in this our case, we have 6 ballot papers. So if you walk in the polling station, you have 6 ballots for different candidates. So you vote for president, not deputy president. The difference is the constitution right now has given president a priority to appoint his running mate or deputy president before elections. But it doesn't stop him. It doesn't stop that deputy president. The same constitution also provides impeachment of the deputy president and spelled out the process very well. So it doesn't mean that if you impeach Rigiji, the new deputy president must be voted for. You don't need to vote for the deputy president. You just appoint or nominate. The way when we dissolve cabinets, we never voted for them. We appointed them back. So I think we should distinct that a deputy president or a running mate is being appointed or nominated, is not being elected. The mere fact that they are on the same ballot doesn't qualify him to be elected as the president. We only elect a president. We don't elect a deputy president.
Okay, keep. Keep, you want to answer a question?
Yeah, I want to maybe to tell Miguda that I think he sometimes try to fix Kenyans into a corner that they are not comfortable, because if you tell us now that we are not voting for deputy president, we are only voting for president. I remember when he was in Githurai, 44 there, he said, I'm in the office because of your votes. I was not appointed by anyone. You elected me. You remember, I think we have the clips. It's not that we don't have, we have the clips here.
And that's a place also I want Miguda to clarify that if
yes,
we want president to be appointing. So what was the reason of even parliamentarians or the people that are in those coalitions have the meeting and tell, okay, you people, you are going to appoint somebody who is going to be a running mate? Why then because if the president has that power to appoint, he can decide, okay, I'm appointing so and so, and somebody should not question that.
And again, Miguda, you should not forget that this constitution is wrong in a way that it is allowing the deputy president to be impeached. And again, is allowing the president to appoint another deputy president who even did not qualify to be a running mate. Remember, Rigiji came in when he was a running mate. And after Kasarani became the deputy president. You know that. But we are just giving somebody to be a deputy president. He doesn't know even what is the meaning of running mate. You see, our constitution needs a lot of banal beating.
Now, let us distinct some things here. I got you very well. That question has been, it is all over from 2 weeks ago. So the fact that Rigathi said that he is the deputy president because of the votes of Mount Kenya doesn't mean that he's speaking the truth, or the fact that he was appointed or the people proposed him doesn't mean that now the president does not appoint. Whatever is happening outside the constitution, there are some political or tribal arithmetic whereby our politicians do those tribal arithmetic. Like when I'm a Kalenjin, I can pick a Rigathi from Mount Kenya. The votes of Mount Kenya from the Kalenjin will make me president. That is outside the constitution. That's the arithmetic. So if we mix them up, we might get confusion of the provisions. What I was saying is that the provision is very clear that a president has to nominate a deputy before election. It doesn't mean that you must nominate a Mount Kenya deputy. You can even nominate a Turkana deputy. But the problem is, they are aware that once I take Rigathi and make that matrix of Kalenjin, Kikuyu, around the terrain of numbers, become the president. But doesn't mean that constitution say that you must point someone from a larger tribe. No. These are just our arrangements outside the constitution, our arrangements in the political context. But the question of how is he appointing a new deputy, now Rigathi is gone home. The very constitution said that it is the president has the prerogative, the power. It is only the president who can appoint a running mate. No, it's only the president who can appoint the deputy president, not me. Here is a matter of appointment or nomination. You appoint, you choose from among other people, or out of 10, you choose one. So you have that power to choose. But now, because our mindset as the people, we knew that Uhuru took Ruto in 2013, that Kikuyu Kalenjin arithmetic, and it worked. So people said, okay, even Ruto was voted for. So Uhuru cannot fire Ruto. Of course, he cannot fire Ruto. There's a process of taking Ruto home. So Ruto cannot be impeached because he was elected. Ruto, if at all he was to be impeached by Uhuru by then, the question could be, who could appoint a new deputy or who could nominate? It is the president who has that power to nominate. So the mix up the political context with our politicians and the constitution. They are trying to mix it up to understand that an ordinary man, the way you have asked that question, an average common voter knew very well, even right now people are saying, the question was, why only impeach both? They were elected, all of them. But it's as simple as that it is the president who is being elected, not the deputy president.
Okay. Thank you so much. So, Kip, on your own view or on your own analysis, if you saw what happened in the parliament, to you, what take do you have?
Benson, for me, I say deep state, they have had their own way. They have made the cake. Now they have served all the MPs. They have eaten it. Now they are waiting to celebrate it. Because for me, that was not the way to go. I remember even the time of Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, the council of the churches, they tried to be the Kofi Annan of these two people, like yani kuwapatanisha. We even did not try the comical way of Gideon August wapatanishwe, kwa sababu we don't know exactly what's happening. We just saw all the MPs, including even Oscar Sudi, who is only coming during swearing in. I was wondering to see Oscar Sudi in parliament, only to come and say yes and go. Eldoret, Kapseret tuko. Surely. I was even kucheka tu na watu kama kina Chelango na hiyo simu ingine ya Mumias. Wanacheka cheka hapo ati hii mambo imekuwa moto, unaona Oscar Sudi leo wako. And in fact all the MPs, They just came there specifically and spending their time to come and impeach a deputy president, where even they can sit down as a UDA members or UDA MPs and bring in the president and the deputy president and listen their problems and even try to fix. We know some of those MPs, they are those one who are older even than president. They can give advice. A
But
solution is not just chasing away Rigathi
you
in
see,
the name of maybe some of us we are more clean or white than some other people. Even some of us, our mistakes are more black than for others,
uh,
but we are forgiven.
um, the reason why I'm asking you that, and now it becomes to a political party, and that's where I disagree 100% with the minority leader, Junet, who was saying like some of these political party are national. Um, the reason is one. The reason why I feel the UDA mechanism could not work and bring them together. Remember, there are those who were given tickets at the expenses of the president. In how loyalty, in the presence of, we call it the loyalty test, you know, yeah. And in the party too, there are those who are very loyal. The decision is not made on a personal. Do I call it independent, whereby keep you look at this and you look at how is this one going to affect the common man, or how is this one going to affect the constituency, or what are the things that our constituencies are going through that I need to go and champion in the parliament. But you are kind of like remote control. You've talked of a member of parliament who doesn't appear in parliament in every session, just come to vote. You know, how is the representation of his people is aired? Because I don't think it's only during voting that's when the people need to speak. There are so many issues that are going on, especially in terms of what is happening, like medical. When there was that rollout from NHIF to SHIF, the people who are affected in that community or in that constituency, what role did you come in to do in the parliament? There's issues to do with the Dani and airport. What roles did you do? So such as the questions, but those are the questions that they're not raising, but they're raising issues that they've been told to raise. So that is what is happening. Yeah. So and
Brother Benson, the problems Kenyan people they have, especially let me say the middle class people in Kenya, uh, who are the minority or the majority voters in our country.
yeah.
The MPs have learned that these are the weak people, where we need to invest in these people. Some of the people, the agencies, like some of us here, even though maybe we might have passed there for some few years, we want to be represented in parliament to see our member of parliament bringing out some issues as far as my constituency concerns. That is another issue. So now again, the member of parliament amekuja akasoma wale watu wetu wa Kenya, wale wa nyumbani akili, akaona hawa wa chini hawa ni kuwapatia gas ile meko, atanipigia kura. Nikiwaita kwangu na kuwapatia ile, siku hizi ni gunia, kuna kagunia ingine sijui wanawekanga nini ndani, wanapanga laini, kila mtu anaenda na gunia na labda kamia mbili hivi. That is the most weakness part of our people, where the MPs have learned that this is how I'll gain the votes. This is our MPs have learned that ataenda pale kwa club, anasema ile mtungi yote ya senator futa pigia kila mtu patiwa, na hizo ni kura tayari umepata. And that is how some of the people like Sudi survive. But when it comes to the people who have gone to school and they say, where is Sudi in parliament? We don't see him. We only come to see Sudi when his brother or her sister is in problems. He's coming to chase away the brother, or he's coming to save. But mostly I know he's coming to chase away. Like yesterday, he doesn't want to come to parliament to bring an issue like a Kapseret airport. He's only having like one plane in 2 weeks. What's wrong? We need to expand the airport. He cannot come to the parliament for that. But to tell them to go and impeach somebody very fast. That is the weakness that I'm talking about, Brother Benson.
Okay, thank you so much. And Marco Bura, also, I want you also to weigh out on these options. Like majority of the times, you see immediately after election, you see members of parliament, they customize what they're giving out. He might customize the water for the bottle, masticate the sufuria, the bag of maize, and anaenda kupatiana mtu. Gibson Corner, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you so much. You know, and in the pretext of buying, because this is buying, but when it comes to real issues that affect the people, we are not seeing them because, like, look at the mood of the parliament yesterday. Yeah, they were full to capacity, and they were very, like, you could see in their faces that it was a moment for them. And yeah,
I actually get that. Allow me to welcome on stage Eric Ayaga. You can see him here. Before we continue, let me welcome Maslin Mwangi at the comment section. Maslin Mwangi, karibu sana to Brother Benson Media. Kindly like and subscribe to the channel. Na tunawapenda sana. Allow me also to welcome Silas Odhiambo, karibu. Gypsy Corner, karibu sana.
Linda,
Linda Kanini, karibu sana. This is Brother Benson Media, and here we say your opinion counts.
Mark, I think I want to leave you guys for like 2 hours. I don't know if I'll get to you if I come back.
yeah,
It's okay, brother.
2 hours, I'm going somewhere. Gypsy Corner, nimeona salamu zako. Nasalamia also Kanini, Linda Kanini. Nimeona Silas yuko pale, Silas Odhiambo, Marceline, Kitonga, and all of them. I'm not running away from you people because you have come in. No. I have some issues somewhere and then I'll sort it out. In 2 hours' time, we'll be here. Thank you.
thank you so much, and have a safe time. If you're driving, have a safe drive. If you're flying, fly safe. If you're cruising, cruise safe. Thank you so much.
If he's arriving, he
Let him
should
arrive.
arrive also safe. Okay.
And if it's landing, he should land safe.
I only hear the likes of Kinayaga ndio wanaland. Mr. Ayaga, are you there? Yeah, so I think you had asked me a question.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
Very well.
Uko
You are
wapi?
highly
Asante sana, nimejaribu kuingia baba, imeshindikana hizo siku mbili tatu.
at least now you've managed, and we really appreciate. We'll give you time. You'll also submit your. Tutakupea nafasi.
Okay.
In a few, you're just coming after me. Yeah, so
Okay,
I
no
just wanted
problem.
to say that. Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say, I think I'd explained that actually, that the members of parliament, they're being remote controlled. They're not really doing everything as per their conviction. But what they're doing is, I think they're simply living a political life throughout their parliamentary term. They're only listening to their party leaders. And that is actually bringing us to this question. We should, sorry, we should have a talk about the role of party politics, the role of parties in Kenya, because I think most of the problems that we're having as a country, some of them are coming from the political parties that we have, because these political parties, they are giving, I don't know whether they're giving directive, I don't know what they're doing. They don't allow their members to actively reason, to actively interact. If you see members of ODM, they behave in a way that sometimes you ask yourself, are these really members of parliament? The only person they know and respect is one Raila Amolo Odinga. Come to UDA, the same. The only person they know, actually wanajua ya kwamba Ruto ndio mdozi wao. They don't remember or accept the fact that the people of the Republic of Kenya ndio wadosi wao. And this is where we are messing up, because the moment a leader has a mentality that their boss is their party leader, then the equation now changes, because now they fail to understand their role. Now what they'll be doing is following whatever they've been given, the roles that they've been given by the party. And this is going against the constitution. You know, it is so unfair that we have a group of people that are supposed to represent us in the parliament. Instead of representing us, respecting the people who are the citizens, because the constitution says that the sovereign power belongs to the people. Them, they don't, awatambui hiyo. Until that time that we'd get a leadership that respects the people, a leadership that listens to the people, a leadership that consults the people, then maybe we'll not be having the problems that you're having. The reason why we are seeing the deputy president being impeached and the president being left in office is because the members of parliament have been compromised. They've been compromised. Some of them have been bribed, majority of them. Some of them has been influenced. Their minds, they can't think for their own. Like, they're being told, do this because they're going to be given some money or because they're going to be given some tender. They tend to forget the fact that they are leader, and they have a role that they need to play.
Okay. Thank you. Are you done?
I am done. As a people, we need
Yeah.
to come back to our senses, our minds, and then remember that we need to come up with a way. We need to find solutions to the problem that we're having, because so far the political class are not helping us solve the problems that we have, because they're only answerable to their political masters or the political party leaders. And that is a problem to us as a people.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Makobura. Ayaga, habari gani baba?
Niko poa. Habari ya wewe?
Niko salama, asante sana kwa kukuja kwa kipindi. Na siku ya leo tunajadili tu mambo yaliyotokea jana katika pale bungeni, ambao mswada ya kung'atua mamlakani rais, makamu wa rais ilifanyika jana. Kwa maoni yako tu, we kama Mkenya, uliona kama haki ilitendeka kwa raisi ama haki kilikuwepo pale kwa bunge?
Hakuna haki hata kidogo imetendeka kwa bunge, kwa naibu rais. Hakuna, nimesema kuna haki hata kidogo, because I was even wondering myself, you call somebody to defend himself. This guy present the barrage of papers, documents. Then you take like 20 to 30 minutes after that, then you start voting. So at what point have you gone through all his presentation and even see what is there in the document apart from the representation? Kila ka case pale aliweka ka documents za kusupport your case. None of MPs never bother to even look at them. That tells you that they never even bothered. Even that calling him there was just for formality, for law, but their mind was fixed. There was no justice. Maybe I may hate Rigiji, lakini I believe on fair ruling. Yeah, I believe on fair ruling. We may have the political differences, ideological political differences with him, but when it comes to fair ruling, he must be given fair ruling. Then I thought or I think hizi ma charges wangevote per charge by just generalizing charges. You see, number one, if you want to know the parliament is biased, and Moses Wetangula will go down as the speaker of National Assembly who is so impartial in terms of ruling in parliament more than any other speaker in this country. Because when Rigiji came, he told Rigiji, you called us the house of theatrics and whatever, and basards. My friend, even me, hata mimi ningekuwa Rigiji, ningesema hivyo hivyo hivyo. Number one, the charge on fighting alcohol. Surely, how do you impeach a deputy president for fighting alcohol? And then you take that case to the to the parliament, and the members of parliament are sitting there, surely opposing that and voting in support of, we charge you with fighting alcohol, illicit brews, something that has caused chaos, deaths. Some people are blind. Some of them are in hospital. Majority are still in rehabilitation centers. My brother, there was no justice served there. I wish they could have vote for those things one by one. And I think the Senate could have a little bit say, we impeach him on this ground and this ground and this ground and this ground. We have removed 4. At least now we have 3 strong grounds to impeach him. At least hiyo ingekuwa na usawa kidogo. But hii mahali all 11 charges include the fight against alcohol, illicit brew, iko ndani. Tena unabeba hizo maneno yote unapeleka kwa Senate. I think we need we are very afraid of this parliament. We are very afraid of this parliament. This is the parliament today as it stands. Kenya is the only East Africa country that runs minus financial bill since this government comes in. Because the financial bill 2022-2023, I think the court call it null and void, so it is not there in existence. The other one, the Gen Zs, 2024-2025, Gen Z brought it down, and we still have parliament. And that is the main function of parliament. You see even MPs accusing Rigiji at the word shares means that some certain regions were not to get resources. Surely that one is done in parliament, not at the vice president's office. That thing is done by parliamentarian. When Kimani Chungwa was allocating roads worth 2 billions in his own constituency, and Rarieda, where I come from, we are being given 200 million. It is not Rigiji. It is them in parliament. Now they are even accusing Rigiji kwa kazi yake yeye anafaa kufanya pale. Another charge that I see as a basard and the theatrics of basard is the charge of renovation. You remember the bill that they passed 2024 finance bill, the one they push through by force. That is the financial bill that had that 700 renovation part for the for the office of the deputy president. It is not Rigiji, my friend. Let us just be sincere. It is not him. It is this parliament. And I remember how Osoro and Kimani Chungwa push this thing. And the same way they did with the one the Gen Z rejected. They are the people who allocate that money to Rigiji. What they now sasa Rigiji ushapewa pesa. These things wanafanywa na another entity. The deputy president is just there, my friend. I wish we can have a one strong ground to impeach the president rather than 11 useless grounds like my company. Let me give you another example. Also, I saw Kimani Chungwa defending. Ati Vipingo Beach belongs to Derito Gashagwa. And not even Vipingo Beach, that apartment in Westlands, that apartment, yeah. Ati Rigiji bought that from proxies. What is wrong with that? Derito Gashagwa's family, these are not kids. These are grown-ups. That the widow is there. We have not heard from them. Kimani Chungwa has never inherited that woman. He has not inherited Nerito Gashagwa's wife. Kimani Chungwa has not been appointed as the Rito Gashagwa family spokesman. I saw one example. An uncle of mine died, and the widow want to sold some properties. Our uncles did the same thing. They say these things should not be sold. They form a company and then they gave a proxy and bought that thing, a small property, and that thing remained in the family. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? In fact,
let me ask you a question, Ayaga, about all that you are
yeah.
mentioning. There's some of the things that we witness in Parliament that we need just to get your views on, especially before even the deputy president came to the floor to defend himself. There was a debate in the morning, and there was that came in the afternoon. And when you look at how the debate was being organized and how they argued the issues, it was more or less um, scripted because they were very selective on what they were talking about. They did not even talk about the charges that were brought, especially against the president. Then that is one. Then aftermath, there are issues that the deputy president actually raised. Some of the things that he was kind of like defending his stance based on the allegation or the charges that has been given to him. Kenya Revolution, thank you so much for joining us, and we are joining you soon. I know you're going live. We can go and join him. So, and one particular area that I would want you to talk about, especially when the deputy president said about the forceful eviction, the reason why he was against that, and cited those areas. You saw even on how the demolition was being done and a child was killed during that demolition. But when the members of parliament were rebutting those, they were very selective. They did not talk of those issues that the Rigiji raised that were touching on the people, forceful eviction, abductions, and all the corruption. What does that one tell you?
That's why I'm saying this thing was biased. There was very biased, and even leave alone or the one you're mentioning, even the MPs who are seen as pro deputy president, when one stood to speak, there were so many point of order, there was so many noise, there was so many harassment, and before even you say whatever you want to say, your time is up. Even the MPs who are seen as to defend the deputy president, none of them were given equality time to articulate his or her issues. That tells you that parliament, that's why you never see a celebration. I thought because Rigiji is hated, by the way, is a man who is hated by many people, include myself. But I always believe in in a natural justice where mgali uwe lakini haki yake mpe. Nobody celebrated that. You never see the streets people celebrating, nobody, because people are asking. These are the MPs. We maybe Rigiji is wrong, but we don't trust the people who are prosecuting Rigiji. Even the matters like the issue of eviction, they never talked about it. Abduction, they never talked about it. The corruption of Adani, they never spoke about it. The chief or the Shah, they never spoke about it. Now then you ask yourself, what? And then Rigiji gave the response to all these things. None of them passed through this document and actually verify that whatever the DP is saying is right or wrong. Let us wait. And if you look at the voting pattern,
Mhm.
you can see the Mount Kenya is consolidating. And they are consolidating at a very high speed. Very few MPs from Mount Kenya West voted for the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Majority of them, like about 6, were absent. But many voted no. That tells you the people who voted for majority comes from the Mount Kenya East because they have that belief that Kindiki is going to be given. The problem is when Kindiki fails to get that, because hii nani imenikumbusha what went between Jaramogi and Tom Mboya. When Tom Mboya, Omolagar, the current, the grandfather to the PS, Lawrence Sagini, they were used from Nyanza to remove Jaramogi and create 8. Jaramogi told them, "You will not see far." It never took long, and Agwings Kodek, it never took so long. Agwings died when Omolagar was on ICU, and 2-3 years later, Tom Mboya went. And he was killed by the same people who used him. I'm sympathizing Kimani Chungwa. Sometimes, even if you hate somebody, don't go personal. You see this politics of entering other people's family. What if tomorrow we have a press conference by the Ndirito Gashagwa's family saying whatever Kimani Chungwa is saying is wrong because is Kimani Chungwa is inviting a family member that has never complained. And to these big families, I think the Gashagwa's families are more disciplined. Hapo anaweza watetea. We have never seen them fight in public. We have seen Moi's family fighting in public. We have seen Odinga's family fighting in public. We have seen Koinange's family fighting in public. We have seen so many families fighting in public, include even the Kenyatta one. Yeah. But this Nderitu, the Gashagwa's family, we have not seen them come out and complain. We need not to be told in parliament about how that family is doing. They don't even want to do politics. Let us respect families. And we do.
Yes, Mr. Yaga. Uh, thank you very much, and also that something that also we witnessed about the UDA part that is not supporting the deputy president, and the we've lost Ayaga, and I wanted to ask him about his favorite party because like the members of his beloved party was also so much speaking the same as the UDA. Kenya Rebel, habari gani kaka? Wewe uko wapi bana? Wacha tungoje Ayaga kuje ndio tuendelee hapa. Nimuulize maswali kwa sababu nataka kusikia. Mako Bura, you are an, you are
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
we just lost Ayaga, but I wanted to engaging on some issues that actually we pointed out. By the way, tomorrow I'll be hosting Madioria Kiriara. If you remember, there was a time Professor Ogola was arrested. There was the guy with the red apron on when Ogola was the prof was trying to do the video. I don't know whether you saw the video.
Yeah, I did. When he was saying that the police cannot mishandle them, they
Yeah,
have a right. The
they
citizens.
were in the car, right?
Yeah.
So there was that guy with the red apron. Yeah. Tomorrow from 7:30 to around 8, I will be hosting him. So join us if you have question for. Actually, in 2013, he was the deputy. He was a deputy running mate to a certain political party. I can what political party was it? But I will check. So he's also human rights activist. So tomorrow be here. We will have to discuss with the leader. So he is the person that we will be asking so many questions, because the people who wants to run for the office next time. So we want to see the policies that they're going to put in place and what plans do they have, especially with what is happening about the impeachment and all that. That is what we will discuss with him. So tomorrow, don't miss out, please, and you can bring all those questions to them. I'm also working out. It's just like contacted so many people. I'm also working out on getting some people from Jacaranda, but they things are moving. We are yet to get their response, but we've contacted at least 3 of them. We have contacted the 3 of them. We are just waiting for their response. Luckily enough, if they can respond and to come on the show, we will let you know. Especially, you know, I don't want to disclose, but like we are trying level efforts to make sure that everybody comes. There are so many people that we've sent invitation, but they're not responding positively. But we will keep on pushing until we get them, because we want to get um, every person's idea. Then Makubura, there's also another segment that we want to bring, and soon, if we finalize, we want to bring a segment whereby we will be talking about especially the life in diaspora. Yeah, tutajaribu kutafuta watu wenye wako diaspora watuelezee mambo
Yeah, I
ikoje.
remember most people have been saying, especially our friends, brothers, and sisters from diaspora have been actively engaging us at the comment section, and they're very much interested in what is going on. And to us who are this side, we will ensure that we try give the right information to Gypsy Corner, to Kenyan Rebel, and to everyone at the comment section.
Achana, Ayaga akisema mimi ni nani nipinge? Wewe unataka kupinga kwa nini? Wewe achana na Ayaga bwana.
Sijui Ayaga Ayaga kuna so many enemies. That is one thing that I've realized.
Kenya Revolutionary uko wapi?
Ayaga, you need to tell us what you did. I don't know whether you are the senior position leader by then.
Mimi sahii ndio opposition leader. Unajua watu wengi wanaenda na current na wengine pia ni waoga. Si ati I'm their enemy. There are these people, they are just cowards, so they can't attack this government directly. So, few of us who attacked the government directly, lazima tukue tu na watu wengi hawatupendi.
Sawa, asante. Sasa bwana Yaga, unajua kuna swali ambao ilijitokeza pale tu. Sasa maoni tu yetu, kwa sababu sisi tulikuwa tunaona, na sisi unajua tukika katika hiyo mlingo ya kuangalia venye siasa inaenda, inaonekana kwamba hata chama cha ODM ilikuwa inasema hiyo maneno tu, ni kwamba maneno yao na yale ya UDA ilikuwa inaendana sambamba. Ni kama walikuwa washaongea hapo awali, wakafanya utafiti kidogo, wakasema hii ndio barabara ambayo sisi tutafuata. Hii unasema aje?
Unajua ODM, na nilikwambia jana ama the previous days, nimewambia ODM, they must be very careful. If you look the voting pattern, you will see that most of Nairobi MPs, majority of Nairobi MPs never voted for that, and some of them were absent. If you look at Kiambu, maybe 2 or 3 MPs voted out of 18, out of 17. So it ODM naye wameingia kwa serikali. ODM wako kwa government and they are propagating the government agenda. And I think also Rigathi made a lot of political mistakes. That one I know. He made many political mistakes at the beginning. And these political mistakes, he entered in other people's family. That's why even if I'm trying to defend Gachagwa's family, he also trespass. You know the myth number one, that now I believe is true. You know Raila Odinga rarely lies in politics. Raila said, Uhuru Kenyatta called me to call William Ruto to manage the situation. But before I called William Ruto, he reached out that we can solve the situation after the Gen Z attacked the parliament. Many people said that was a rumor, Raila was lying. My friend, if the hand of Uhuru Kenyatta is on this, Rigathi Gachagua is going home and is going to see trouble. He's going to see trouble. I'm telling you, what he did with the first Mandamano invading Northlands, withdrawing the security from Mamangina, that was extreme. That was the biggest political mistake that even Moi fought with Jaramogi and he never did that. You saw even Spectrum International pale Industrial wakatuma vijana waende wakarushe mawe. That was a biggest political mistake that has never been done. Even Kibaki fought with Raila Odinga. He never attempted to go deep into Odinga's family. Even Uhuru Kenyatta, they fought with Raila. He never went that extreme. So Rigji made a lot of mistakes, and these people, they have their political grounds. Yeah. And if the hand of Uhuru Kenyatta is on the button for Rigji to go home, I'm seeing a lot of troubles for him. I know the way he's being persecuted may be unjustly, but he's going to face a political storm in the near future. And very soon, we are going to throw Deputy Gachagua into what we call the political probability. And this is going to be a political lesson for people who will be on power, that the moment you have that power, because ODM is right. Rigiji alone, when Ruto was out, he chaired a security meeting that ended up killing around 50, 75 people in Kisumu. So we can also not blame ODM. Even if the ODM was not in government and you brought a impeachment motion against Rigathi Gachagua, ODM would have supported that 100%. That is the fact. But because now we have broad-based, at least there are power balance. They want to blame ODM, but politically, you just blame Rigiji for his own himself and for himself and him alone.
Okay, like now, let's forget about everything. And as you say that the lesson has to be learned here, there's also something that maybe if you might elaborate for us, what can we learn of what is happening? Because if you see on what has happened, even as the deputy president was reading or taking us through about the shares on how they were distributed based on the political parties. Yeah, because like they said, Ford Kenya brought this and this one. What lesson should he learn also about the sharing, or even the people from the mountain, that when they're signing this deeds of political do we call it political coming together, what should they also form a political party to begin? Because if DPT could have been having his own political party with his own people, it could have been very easy for him to defend himself in the parliament.
Okay, as I've always been saying, in Kenya we don't have political parties. In Kenya we don't have political parties at all. We don't have. What we have are companies. That word I will stand with Rigathi Gachagua 100%. These are companies that are used to siphon money from the government. The government, through political party, whatever, gave UDA almost 500 million and gave ODM like 300 million. They got a lot of money. These are companies. If you want to know it is a company, remove Raila Odinga in ODM today, then call that party the name you want to give the name. The ODM will not be there. Remove UDA, remove William Ruto. name in UDA. Let us just say William Ruto say, I have resigned from UDA. I want to form another party. That party is carcass. The party is gone. There is no party. So
Mm,
in Kenya, we have briefcase companies that people use to win election and even throw them. That's why we are now saying it is maybe ODM. That is party that has last for more than 15 years to 20. But
mm,
even Kanu is dead, Jubilee is dead, the party that was very well organized few days ago. So we don't have parties. We have
mm,
companies. That's why in those agreements, they are always kept secret. When there is a betrayal, is when you hear, we were betrayed, we were betrayed, we were betrayed. But if you ask even people who are singing, we were betrayed, you are betraying about what? He doesn't know. He doesn't know. But now Rigji is just doing a good thing of making these things public. Now we know all these MOUs always what they entails, what they contain. They are not pro people. They are just somebody like 30%. My friend, 30% for the Western Kenya only goes for Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula. Only that. So we don't have parties, Bernard.
okay. Gibson
Benson.
Corner, I will confirm this. Let me just ask because I know. Let me shoot text to some of journalists that I know right now if they can give me like a proper so I can confirm. So, Mr. Ayaga, um, I-
Yeah.
so so like it is now very clear that when you're coming for such like negotiation or something like party sharing deals, you should have your own political party. Don't just come without one. That one will put you in a very good position, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ayaga, I feel like we need to close the show because like Makobura is not here, and I need to go to work right now. Gibson Corner, I'm looking for that, and I'll give you. I want to get like a very something that is very accurate. I will give them.
Ati is say, Gibson Corner is saying what?
He's asking. He's asking. Wait, Makobura, BBM, can you please confirm if a letter was rushed to the Senate by the Senate Speaker that everything should be halted until 19th to give all the senators to come back from their holiday? Is it true, Makobura?
Yes, I can confirm that there was a circular given by the Speaker
Yeah.
to the senators that they should not go past Nairobi because the matter at hand is a serious issue
Oh,
that
they should not travel outside the country.
yeah, it was actually said they should not even go past, they should not even go to their villages. They should just be within Nairobi.
Oh,
They should not travel outside the country, and as well, they should
outside,
maintain,
outside the country, I know.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that was I also I think I've seen it. Ilikuwa a ruling from the Speaker of the Senate telling the members of the Senate not to, and their staffs not to move outside Nairobi until the impeachment of Gachagua and the Kericho governor is complete. I think if it is that, it is true.
okay. So thank you so much for verifying that because like what I heard was about they're not traveling outside, going outside the country. Thank you so much, Gibson. Gibson Corner is already answered. So Ayaga, we saw in the Senate, Sifuna did not second the motion. What that does one mean?
Sifuna has just seen the ground. If you look at the voting in the parliament, Nairobi is Eastland, and all Eastland's MP never voted against the Gashagua's impeachment. If you go to Mawade, Embakasi South, voted no. Embakasi Central, Mejadong voted no. Babu Owino was not there and he doesn't even care. Embakasi West also was not in the parliament, but I know Mwenje Jr. don't support the impeachment. If you look at Kasarani, the M-Pesa guy, I don't know how he voted, but I don't know even how. But Nairobi is Islands. The Nairobi vote, the majority of votes comes from Islands.
Did
So
Babu
if you
Owino
want to be safe,
Babu Owino missing
yeah,
out? Was he doing it? Why did he have to miss out, or he knew what he was doing?
Babu Owino, from the word go, we told him not to participate in this historic political betrayal. Yeah, from the
Okay.
word go, we never even signed
Who told him?
the
Who told him?
signature to have the mission.
Who told him? Who told him?
We supporters. We
Okay,
supporters.
okay,
Yeah,
that's okay. Uh,
yeah.
so how come? So does it mean that
As a
Babu listens?
politicians, as a
Does it mean
politicians, you have to listen to the ground. Yeah.
okay? So does it mean that only Babu listens to the ground? The rest of them, as much as they were told by the ground that it wasn't right for them to proceed with the impeachment or even the accusations and all the participation, they still went on. So does it mean that only Babu listens, and with who else?
Ndidi Nyoro.
Okay, but then that brings me to this question. I think it was
Yeah.
we've always seen Babu Owino, Ndidi Nyoro, Mwenje Jr., and these young members of parliament. We've always seen them
The
very
majority of young parliamentarians, the renowned ones, like
yes,
all of them,
especially
opposed to this, include Selassie. Yeah.
yeah. So what is it? Is it that is really cooking? Because we've seen Babu Owino, the likes of Nyoro, Ndidi Nyoro, most of time working together, and it could be that they made this decision together. We've not seen them in the parliament. Previously, we've seen them, especially when this kind of serious issues touching the people of Kenya are being discussed. What could be cooking behind the scene, Mr. Yaga? You know, you're a political professor, and it seems you've just confirmed that
I know.
Babu listens to you.
Okay.
So kindly give us your opinion
Okay.
on
Not
that.
Babu Owino doesn't listen to me. Babu Owino listen to people who supports him, because he's a kind of politician. Maybe mnaweza kuwa pale Miango mukiwatch ball Man U versus Arsenal na unashtuka amepomp, amekuja amekaa na nyinyi for those 90 minutes. Is a guy you can sit down and discuss, and he's the only MP that lives in Islands, I think. There is no MP who stays in Islands except him. So maybe understand more of Islands people what they want more than any other MP. So sometimes like he had the akona WhatsApp group. So sometimes we people told him, actually, this is a historical betrayal, political betrayal in UDA. And him as a MP elected in ODM, there is no need even participating on it. And that answer, if you look at his Facebook page today, he responded. He say, the day they will represent the Adani issue, the SHA, the new modeling of university, he will be there in parliament.
I don't know what has happened. We've dropped him. Eric, are
But
you
the
there?
advising Sifuna, please.
Yes, proceed. We can hear you. Eric. I think he's not having a stable internet. Maybe we'll give him time. Mr. Beguda, what can you say about the young members of parliament, led by Babu Owino, Ndindi Nyoro, the likes of Mwenje, we didn't see them in the parliament. And from their social media, they're saying that the issue of impeachment is not a serious thing to the people of Kenya, and that it does not affect the normal mwananchi. And that is the reason why they were not in the parliament. Your take on that?
Hey, Erika Yaga's dropped. Everybody else dropped. So I was saying, reason could be these are young parliamentarians and they are young leaders. They are almost millennials. So they don't need to engage, or they need to enter into a war of the older generations. Because these people are finishing their politics and they're exiting the stage, but we have the people like Babu Owino, Didi Nyoro, Mwenje Jr., Amo from Sare, Jalas, Salasia. They are still young leaders and still have them. They still have future in politics. So they can no one can sacrifice his political future at expense of older generation or at expense of betraying Rigathi. So you want me to sacrifice my political future because I must vote yes for Rigathi. I cannot do that, even me, because I have a future in politics. Maybe some of these people don't have future in politics. People like Babu Owino, Didi Nyoro, they have been propelled as future leaders. People like Didi Nyoro and Babu Owino they have been seen as those people who can lead this country if given an opportunity. So why do you sacrifice your political future at the expense of pleasing your master, be it Ruto or be it Raila? I can't do that. And Babu should not owe anybody any apology or explanation why he was not in parliament. I support him fully because you can't spoil my political future at your expenses to an extent that I'm going to destroy my political future. Babu Owino was very categorically, and I support him fully, that we have pressing issues. Me, my interest is the issue of new funding model. I want us to go back to the old funding model. I'm not interested in this new funding model because it does not only affect me, but also it affects my siblings and my future relatives. So I don't want this new funding model. Let us focus on the things like the new funding model, things like Adani. But I can say kudos to Babu and Didi Nyoro, because if they could have voted for instant, let's say yes, they could have even betrayed the younger generation because we believe in them as young people and as young leaders. Maybe Makubura, I wanted to clarify something here, which I was asked by a Kip. Kip was asking me, why is it that it is the senators to decide, not National Assembly? I tried to explain it in the context of legal, but now let me try to split it down to an average voter understanding. You know, at Senate, that's where we have a full trial. It's going to act more of a court, whereby we are going to have a trial, like the trial we usually have in court. They are going to be the petitioners and the defense team before the Senate. At the National Assembly, it was the initiation of the process. Now at the Senate is where we are going to hear those charges from the petitioner and respondent from the defense team. And a decision must be made. Senate must decide. So that decision is what we call that determination of the court, that court of the Senate. So the decision of the Senate will bind the impeachment process. And the decision of the Senate is going to be made through voting, whereby 2/3 of the senators must support the motion. So if they support it, it is going to be sealed. And BP, Rigathi Gachagua, is going to cease to become the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Senate is a representation of the people. Senate, the people are represented at the Senate. And we know the oversight role is for the Parliament jointly, the National Assembly and the senators. They oversight the executive. So if the Senate go to an extent of impeaching Rigathi Gachagua, they will have done their oversight role. So the power has been delegated to the senators by the people, the sovereign power. Yeah? That sovereign power which has been delegated to the senators by the people. So the senators are going to use that power to, they are going to impeach the deputy president. But I will agree with what Ayaga said that Sifuna, just like young parliamentarians, has also read the mood on the ground. Sifuna is a senator of Nairobi, not a senator from outside Nairobi. And you know, most of the people living in his lands in Nairobi, they are the majority who make decision at the ballot. The Westlands guys, sometimes they don't even go to vote. They don't care even whether you are voting or not. So you must have the majority from the Eastlands to vote for you. And you have gone across the Eastlands. People do not support this impeachment. So there's no way Sifuna can sacrifice his political future, just like Babu and Didi Nyoro, at the expense of their masters. Because their masters have a short period in time in politics. But these young people, they still have a long time to go in politics. That could be my take. Makobura, where are you going to?
Eric, you can come in and continue.
Okay. Venye nilikuwa nasema, these young parliamentarians, I support them 100%. They should not enter into this because, you know, Miguda, this is a political betrayal. There is no grounds here either because number one, the deputy president is not immune to the law when he's in office. All these charges kama zingekuwa za halali ungekuwa umepeleka kotini kwanza. You get the deputy president charged before the court of law. So after that, you can take those issues to discuss in parliament. This is a moment where we are charging a deputy president or impeaching the deputy president based. And I want you to mark this. Look at these governors who always win the impeachment, even if the Senate went ahead and impeached them. You will get that the majority of them, there were no court cases before their impeachment. So you accuse Rigathi of money laundering. There is no case in court as we speak against him for money laundering. Yeah, there is no such case. So it is a political. This is a political betrayal. If Babu Owino choose not to participate in it, I support him. If Ndidi Nyoro chooses not to, and I think the most of young politicians were against it. And even those who are in parliament, like Mwangu, Stare MP, they voted no. Yes, the majority. This is a political old class that have ganged up against their one of their own called Rigathi Gachagua. So that thing, we don't have problem. It is not affecting us. But I think the decision of this young parliamentarian will carry the day. I also wish that Sifuna use his wisdom. I know he has a problem with Rigathi Gachagua personally. He always attack, but he should not vote using the emotions. Let him vote using the wisdom, because here in Nairobi, and I warn our governor, don't be a witness in this case. Please, just look at how the MPs are taking side. Don't be a witness in this case. This will make you a one-term governor. Like maybe William Ruto will be a one-term president. And this thing will cause you a lot of trouble. The ground in Eastlands, they don't want, in fact, not they don't want Rigathi to be impeached. They are not defending Rigathi. What they are saying, the things that ought to be discussed are not being discussed. The projects, the unemployment rate, high cost of living, and the rest. Look at what happens in Parliament today. Do you know the Parliament was adjourned at around 9? Why? Because there was lack of quorum, and the quorum is only 50. So which means these people, they don't care. Even 50 MPs today could not attend sittings in parliament to proceed with the business of parliament up to 4. They had to adjourn. My friend, we need to be serious. We need to be serious as young people, because it is our future that these people are winning. Makobura, I think I will take a leave. I think by God willing, tomorrow. Yes, I
Maybe
promise.
before you take a leave, kindly,
Yeah.
before you take a leave, would you kindly tell us what we might expect at the Senate, as they will be also continuing with this impeachment process?
Yes, the Senate
What's
is
your
going on with the impeachment. But if you look at the demographic, if the Mount Kenya MPs will either abstain, or senators will either abstain or be absent, and the wiper one supports Rigji, I think Rigji only needs 17 senators to win this. The problem is getting those 17, but he only needs 17 MPs. I think getting 17 MPs is a little bit easier, but it also depends. If I told you, if the likes of Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga is behind Rigiji impeachment to teach him a political lesson, he has no escape route, maybe courts. And I think if he goes to court, Rigiji will be a DP for about 2 to 3 years, and after that, we are heading to election. Because if he goes to high court, it will take time. Because what I have seen, these MPs, they don't bother the response. The motion was tabled. We went to participation, public participation. Then on Tuesday, they come, they discuss you in your absence. When you came there 2 hours, they don't bother looking into your details. I think those things now are left for court, and court will consider listening to this case. And Rigji will just still be they will be the DP. But the problem is, when you are a deputy president and you have a case at court, you run upside down. They have engaged you on the other side, so hautakuwa na time ya engage in national matters, and that's how they have get you outside the center of power, and you will be busy fighting your court case, fighting your political future. But I think one thing they have made, Rigji is going to have idle time because he has money. He's going to have idle time. You will still provide him with security. He will still be at the Mansion Plaza or that office in Karen. He will still enjoy having his salary and allowances. So he will have a lot of time to deal with his political enemies qua ground, mostly the MPs.
Okay, very well. Maybe Miguda, your thought on what we should expect at the Senate. Then Brother Ben would come in.
I agree with Ayaga that Rigiji needs only 17 members of parliament to rescue him. But the big question is how to get them. That is very true. But where I have a point of departure is that Rigiji is going to continue being the deputy president after impeachment. After impeachment by the Senate and the decision is made, Rigiji will cease to become the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya. He will move to court, but not as the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, because once senators has impeached him, he's going to cease to become the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, and the president is going to appoint new deputy president, who is going to be approved by parliament. So Rigiji will continue the case because the case might take minimum 6 months from High Court, Court of Appeal to Supreme Court. at least minimum 6 months. So this duration, we will have a new deputy president who has been appointed by the president and approved by parliament. Then the question could be, what if Rigathi wins the case at the apex court, maybe Supreme Court? The answer could be, or the answer is, Rigathi will be reinstated back by the court as the deputy president, and the newly appointed deputy president will have to resign because Rigathi was the initial office holder of that position of the deputy president.
Let me ask let me ask my brother before I leave because I'm confused. We also impeach the governor of Meru. She's in court now. Now the Meru has no governor. Meru County, she's not governor. Who is running the county government of Meru? Once Rigji goes to court, rushes to court, and get that injunction, there is no appointment that will be made. I think so. I think so. But you guys are lawyers, so you can educate me. I will be hearing from the comment section. But I think Rigji will be clever enough to do what Kawira Mwangaza did, because that thing will be on Thursday. On Friday, very early in the morning, before the gazettement, because there is a timeline for the gazettement, yeah, very early in the morning, Rigji will be in court. And the court will overrule that impeachment process and reinstate Rigji to continue being the deputy president until the case is heard and determined. Maybe from the cabinet, he can't went to the cabinet because of now the political problems he will have with the people who are there. But having his position as deputy president will be there until Supreme Court. And he said it. He said it the day he was addressing the media. And that is what Kawira Mwangaza is doing. He went to High Court. High Court gave injunction. That's why we never swore the deputy governor as governor. So she's still the governor. Up to now, she's the one running the county government until the case is heard and determined. Thank you very much. Let me take a leave.
Before you take a leave, Ayaga, before you take a leave, kindly.
Yes.
You have said that.
I'm here.
You said that you think so. So that's just the way you have said you think so, and we are here to confirm to you the provision. So let us just give it a benefit of doubt here. We will be back.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Yaga, for always joining the discussion, and hoping to see you another day, because tomorrow we have a guest. So maybe at around 10, you might join us again for the second session of the show. Thank you so much, my brother.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Ben, for letting Mr. Yaga leave. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the viewers at the comment section and also those who are not commenting. If you're new here, we are kindly inviting you to like and subscribe to the channel. This is Brother Benson Media. Here we say your opinion counts.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. Do you have anything to tell to our viewers or share before we wind up?
I think we can just round up. We have exhausted everything.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone who was in the show. It's almost 3 hours. That is extreme. Hiyo ni mingi sana. Mimi kwa nafasi yangu na kwa niaba ya ndugu zangu, mimi ningependa kuchukua hii nafasi kuwashukuru sana, na tunawaombea mema. Kesho tutakuwa na mgeni rasmi ambaye atakuja kutuelezea hali ya nchi kulingana na maoni yake. So tunawakaribisha wote mkuje na mtoe maoni pia tusikize, nyinyi mnasema aje? Kama mtafutiana mtakuwa na mawazo tofauti na yeye, itakuwa ni sawa. And all in all, we keep on every day thanking you for the support we've been getting. Actually, we are seeing tremendous growth in the channel in terms of subscription, and it's because of you. And Gibson Connor, thank you so much. You've always been in any of our discussion, and be blessed so much. And see you tomorrow. And let's have a good day, a good evening, depending from which part of the country or which part of the world you're watching us from. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.